Ayy, I got the recipe, never gonna let any op get the best of me. Thought it was distance, but haters is next to me. Talk to the spirit, you know I've been heavenly. Company definitely show your trajectory. This ain't a diss cause I say it respectfully. It's time to eat up, bread like a speeder. Taking it deeper and that's how it better be. I never let the comparison get to me. I just remember the promises meant for me. I know the enemy and that he's sent for me. I keep the blood of the lemons my centerpiece. I cannot trust in no crystals or energy. Look at the chemistry, it do not even mix chemically. Most of the tricks, they be gimmicks, they mimic the truth. It's poison and we got the remedy. There is a bomb, apply it. The fire can stand to the tallest of giants. The tyrant and all the suppliers are scheming and lying. They selling his dreams and we buying it. Show me the chicken, I'm frying it. Show me the dough and I'm prying it. Ain't never lacking it, so what I'm packing, he taking it, he magnifying it.
They say you ain't bout it. Tell them that you finna make it, but they doubt it. But you rose like the flower. Tell me what it's like to live with superpowers.
I don't know, but I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I just know that I'ma get it. 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 Ayy. I got the drive, the bus, the truck, the gas is stuck. I ain't the one to rely on the luck. I put in work and then he show up. I know it's fake, this in the reps, ain't no regrets, I do too much. It ain't me if you saying I stunt. He calling the plays and I do what he want. This ain't a front, glory to G-O-D. It's what you could do with a mustard seed. It's what you could do when you start to believe. Take fear and you cast it inside of the sea. 100% out of me, cause he gave it all on the T when he let it bleed. So what is you saying to me? You just insecure about the love that turned me to a beast. I take a step and I ain't turning back. He made me first cause I know that I'm last. I ain't got time for no thinking to learn from it first and then I react. Hands off me, don't hold me. Get it jumping like a trampoline. All truth ain't no trolling. We in good hands, no folding.
They say you ain't bout it. Tell them that you finna make it, but they doubt it. But you rose like the flower. Tell me what it's like to live with superpowers.
I don't know, but I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I just know that I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it. I'ma get it.
Coach, what's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the f*** is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Space shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up from my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peace, you gon' see the flex when you hear these writtens. Trust me, you know the difference. I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage. I see the process and
the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed, cause I don't really see nobody close to me. Hopefully this ain't wasted, and I know it ain't. You gotta take the time for seasoning to marinate. You need the patience under pressure just to detonate. I'm trying to blow up and these heathens need to get it straight. Gifted with a vision and precision, I'm just trying to make it high key. Might be breaking free like I was Zion in some Nikes. Tucked at the crib, bro, you know just where to find me. Making beats and spitting crack verses pretty likely. Yeah, socks with the burst, boy, I ain't changed a bit. Normal guy till I die, you know what it is. You probably thought I'd give up now that I got some kids, but really now I got these arrows aiming at your ribs. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the start, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. Hey, please be on the notice, these my motives. About my chicken and its rotis. You parsimonious, you take it all cause you a locust. My focus is to grow this mission. A visionary, get a dictionary. We here off the rip and we ain't sharing, we just caring. Let me speak it to the manager. We damage her, no you ain't messing with an amateur. I'm ramming, the competition, they ain't standing up. They fanning from left to right cause now they branded us. Now who that is? Mike Jones, they ain't want me now, they all on me. Got counterfeits trying to play me, I guess they thinking I'm Sony. These big head dummies showing up and out of their character. Homie, you need a price cause without it the squad ain't hearing you. Top of that, we ain't fearing yet. We swinging for the fences with the sting of a left hook that connects with Sonny Liston. I'm dismissing any and all of the disrespect. Nonetheless, it ain't a threat, I'm just letting y'all know who's next. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the start, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas, you gon' see the...
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Mafia, oh my God, she's pumping. She's dumping. She was looking pretty good yesterday, and now we got that huge pump to the upside yesterday, guys, and we just ate up all those gains. Is this bearish for Bitcoin? Well, we're going to take a look at the bearish case tonight, guys. I'm going to talk to you guys about potentially going a little bit lower as we have our higher time frame money flow continuing to the downside here, guys. And we did get that harsh rejection at that first level that we looked at on the market update yesterday, which was not a great place to reject from, and I'm going to talk to you guys exactly why I feel that way and why rejecting at the 786 that we rejected yesterday. I want to talk about why that's not a great sign, right? And we'll talk about the potential of coming down a little bit deeper here. I'm going to give you guys the bullish case, the bearish case, and then which way I'm leaning. And oh, God, the pain might not be over, guys. The pain might not be over. We got that big pump on some bullish news, which kind of makes me a little bit more worried about that pump to the upside and it not actually being the pump that we need. But, yeah, we got the crypto reserve news yesterday. We got the push up and the rejection at our 786 retracement level, guys. Yikes. Yeah, but we're going to break it all down for you guys. I'm going to give you all the key levels and what you need to be looking at, not only to predict Bitcoin's next move, but where I'm looking at for our next trades in the premium. I want to talk about exactly the levels that we're watching. I'm not going to give you the exact setups, but I'll give you guys kind of those key levels that we must hold above. And if we are going to go lower, how low can we go? And I don't know. Last week, guys, we saw that drop to the downside to about $80,000, which was super validating for me personally because we've been looking at that push down to 80K for months, right? For a very, very long time, we were looking for that push down to 80K. We got it beautifully. We swept all the liquidity. We even saw that fast liquidation wick to the downside as we expected. But unfortunately, it does look like we may want to go grab some more of that liquidity down below. Is the bull market over? We're going to cover it all on today's live stream. So buckle up, Mafia. It's going to be a good one. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got Nirvana in the chat. We got Jesse, our like police. Don't forget, Jesse is our like police, so respect him if he asks you to hit that like button. And by the way, guys, if we do hit 1,000 likes on tonight's live stream, we will be giving away $350 in Solana on Friday's live stream. And if we get multiple streams where we get 1,000 likes, we'll give away multiple $350 Solana giveaways. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's see. We got Samuel S. What is going on? We got Jay Violet. We got Rob the Crypto Snob, Tyler Durden, Crypto Billy, Crypto Anon, Darren Does Things, Dave Digital, Chemistry Bro. You guys know who the mods are. Show them some love in the chat if you have not already. We got Cade in the chat said Lara is back. Who is Lara? Shout out to Cade. Welcome in, bro. We got Gennaro in the chat said smash those like buttons. We got CJ, Felix, Lars. We got Rob the Crypto Snob. What is going on, bro? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. And Tyler, check it in, said $350 in Sol this Friday already. Shout out to Tyler. Did we get it? What happened? Did we get 1,000 likes on Fridays? What happened? Shout out to Tyler Jordan. He is the boss of all the giveaways, guys. So shout out to Tyler. But yeah, if he says we got 350, we probably do. So shout out to you, bro. Thank you for being here. And thank you for everything you do for the channel. We got Jay Violet. We got WV said, yo, what's up? Let's go. Shout out to WV. What is going on? We got Gen Z in the chat. Long time no see. I just saw him over in the premium live stream a little bit earlier today. And we got Alex and Pennywise, everybody's favorite clown, guys. Smash up that like button. And without further ado, say what's up to the mods, and let's go ahead and jump on into the charts and see if we can save this thing, guys. Let's see if we can save this thing. Oh, man, let's get into the charts. Here we go. Oh, God. I really don't want to do this, guys. I don't want to be bearish. I don't want to be bearish, guys. I'm sorry. And I will go over the bullish case here, but I'll be honest, guys. This drop to the downside, in my opinion, was not the most bullish thing possible. And yeah, so I'm going to do a little overview of kind of what we saw happen here, and then we'll talk about this rip to the upside, the key level that we rejected here, and why this could signal a little bit more downside. And if you guys watched the market update yesterday, you will know and would have been prepared with this key level to the downside. Now, shout out to Coin Hoover said, one trade. Shout out to Coin Hoover. I meant to shout you out, bro. I pinned your chat. He said, one trade paid for my year's subscription of the premium Discord and trading view. Thank you, Frankie. I'm short from 93,000. Locked profits in, stop loss move down, and ready to add to the position if we continue. So shout out to Coin Hoover. Studio is freshly clean, so I'm going to throw a few hundred for you, bro. Shout out to Coin Hoover. Let's go. Congrats on your gains, bro. And the fact that I was able to teach you anything or help you get into that in any way, shape, or form is the reason I get up here and do this every single day, and I'm in the Discord constantly. So shout out to Coin Hoover. Congrats, bro. But yeah, if you guys saw that market update yesterday, you will know as we got this put. Let's go back a little bit, right? We obviously got the big drop to the downside. We've been looking at that drop down to $80,000 for quite some time, talking about hey, guys, if we do get that drop to the downside, we have a lot of liquidity sitting below, not only here, but also obviously below this value area low. We knew once we started losing this level, we had our low volume gap that was sitting down below, making this a very, very kind of sketchy level to play with, because once you start losing this high volume node, guys, the volume falls off very, very heavily, and really that next pickup on that volume is sitting at about $80,000, and you can see not only did we not have any support down here, shown by the low volume gap, but we also had a lot of liquidity sitting here. We also had a lot of liquidity sitting once we broke $85,212. We also had a lot of liquidity there, right? So we had a big chunk of liquidity here, big chunk of liquidity down here. So we knew once we started losing this based off the liquidity and the low volume gap, we were very likely going to not only get a drop to the downside, guys, but a quick, fast drop to the downside. And then once you break below 85.2, that is where you're going to be looking for that even faster drop, or I wouldn't say even faster, but another very fast drop to the downside, bringing us into this support zone fully. And we saw exactly what we wanted to see, to be quite honest, right? We saw the big sweep of liquidity. We saw the daily candle closure. If you guys watched the live stream on Friday, you will know we were saying, if we could close this daily candle above this anchored VWAP, that would be the biggest and most bullish case here, right? If we were able to close it above 85.2, it would have been even better. But we did get that daily candle closure above the anchored VWAP, which made me kind of look for the possibility of finally getting a retracement into some of these higher prices. And where do we come into, guys? We came directly into that key zone that we were looking at. Now, number one, we had the value area low of the previous range, and then we also had the confluence on that golden pocket 786 retracement. And this is kind of where things start to look a little bit less good. Because obviously we got the daily candle closure. That was great. That's where we look for the retracement into the value area low / golden pocket 786 retracement. But overall, guys, when we look at the higher time frames, taking a look at the daily money flow, right? If we pull up market cipher B here real quick, bada boom, bada bing, right? Daily money flow still in the red. This was one of the major signals we looked at to anticipate the continuation of the downside of this downtrend into $80,000 to begin with. But we also have our 2-day money flow, right? Which technically did try to come up a little bit yesterday. We do have a 2-day green dot here as well, so keep that in mind. But overall, guys, this 2-day money flow is still trending to the downside. So, at this point, we do have to be very, very careful of those pushes to the upside for lackluster lower highs and continuations down, which could potentially bring us back down into the mid to low 70s, which is not what anybody wants to see. But as you guys know, when you get those retracements to the upside, if you are looking for those lackluster retracements for lower highs and continuations down, this is, you got to pay attention to the money flow, right? Again, this is how we were able to predict the move down to 80K. And as we come up here, where if we're going to be looking for lower highs based off the money flow on the daily and the 2-day coming out, where are those levels that are high, are the high probability to put the lower high in at before getting the breakage structure to the downside once again? Well, zone number one is going to be the local golden pocket pull from this high to the low. Again, this is what we were looking at yesterday on the market update. Golden pocket 786 retracement, right? We're going to come in and put a lower high in. This is the first major level that we have an opportunity to do that at. And I'll be honest, guys, we got a pretty harsh rejection here. Right? It was looking a lot better yesterday as we were getting a push in here with our 90-minute money flow crossover into the green, giving us that continuation up. We have that 90-minute money flow crossover right here. We flipped that $85,212 level to support. That's what we needed to get on top of in order to look for that retracement. And let me see if I can pull this up in the... Yeah, I mean, we've been looking for this in the premium Discord. I mean, even on the live streams, looking for the flush of liquidity, close the candle above the anchor VWAP, look for that retracement into the value area low, and bada boom, right? We got it absolutely beautifully into that value area low, 786 golden pocket. But the problem here is, guys, we got that harsh rejection. We ate up all the gains that we made here. And like I said, the fact that this was based off of some news, and somebody said, Frankie, you should take a look at some of the crypto reserve coins today. And we will be taking a look at some of that stuff today. But I will say, guys, and again, this isn't me saying the bear market's here just yet, right? I said when we come down here, we're not going to be calling for the bear market. As a matter of fact, we're going to look for long positions. We absolutely did that. But now, unfortunately, we're getting this big move eaten up. But I will just say this, guys, to be quite honest, the fact that this big move came up on some big news, this is kind of alarming, right? Because you have to think to yourself, and this just goes to show, if you were watching the live streams last week, guys, like this just goes to show how quickly things flip-flop. And, I'm not going to lie, we got the move down here, right? You got that sweep of liquidity. We've been looking for this level, and we've been saying ever since up here, if we get this move down, we are not going to be overly bearish. We're actually going to look for bounces. We did exactly that. If you guys watched the live stream, it's exactly what we were looking at for the closure above that anchored VWAP on the daily time frame. However, everybody's calling for the bear market here. We knew that once we got down here, everyone's going to call for the bear market. And yesterday, as we got the pump to the upside, I was over on Instagram and TikTok, and here's all the crypto influencers that opened their channels, right over here after the big pump at the start of the bull market, and they're talking about, the bull market's back on, guys. Alt season starting right now. And actually, in my market update yesterday, I showed you exactly what I'm looking at in order to see alt season start. I said this in the premium Discord earlier today. A lot of people thought February was going to be a bullish month for Bitcoin because it historically has been. And it's not that you can't look at history to try to predict what's going to happen in the future. Obviously, that's a big part of what we do here. But you can't can't just look at things like, oh, February is typically a bullish month for Bitcoin, so we're probably going to see alt season happen then. It's not that easy, right? Because if February is usually a bullish month, that really means nothing if the charts are screaming go to the downside, right? And a lot of people were looking for massive upside in February, but what were we looking for? We were looking at money flow coming out, and we were shorting this. Short from 102K, short from 99K, right? We took those two nice short positions that paid out absolutely beautifully on that drop to the downside. It doesn't matter if Bitcoin was bullish in previous Februarys, right? You could take that into account, but you would want to see other things line up with that kind of sentiment, right? Which it was not. It was looking for downside. And then, everyone gets super bearish here. We get a big push to the upside, the big news, and everybody like, oh my God, this is the biggest news ever. Bull run back on. And it's not the bull run back on, right? It's not that it's not bullish news, but it's not that easy, right? It's not just like Donald Trump's going to come out and say that we have a crypto reserve and then boom, bull market, easy, just buy here and we're going to the upside. It's a lot more difficult than that. And now the shorts and the longs have pretty much been wrecked. So, it just goes to show, right? You can't just go by like, simple, bullish months typically for crypto. Like it doesn't really work like that, right? You have to understand how these charts work and what actually moves price, which is liquidity and buyers and sellers, right? Now, we got that sweep up. We got the push to the downside, and I would love to know. I don't know it as of right now, but I would love to know what people are thinking now because a lot of people got really bullish, and I'm wondering if they're getting really bearish or looking at this as an opportunity because, in my opinion, guys, very simply put, if we come onto a clean chart here, even if I was not looking at the volume profiles, let's just say we're not looking at the volume profiles. At the end of the day, if you take a look at the 2-day, guys, money flow comes out. If this crosses into the red, I'm the first person to tell you. Lower highs and lower lows are going to be the more likely situation here. Now, hopefully, we could just get that to get stepped on, right? Hopefully, the money flow fakes out, comes into a big green wave, crypto reserve, everything goes up. But at this point, right, money flow is still coming out, and as we've been looking for this move to the upside, we have to be careful because we know that the money flow indicates the overall trend, which makes it very likely for a continuation of that downtrend. And if we're looking for those lower highs, where are we going to be looking at? Very simply put, golden pocket, 786 retracement. And if we were able to get above this level, we had another key level that we were going to be looking at, which unfortunately we didn't make it up to, but from the high all the way to the low here, we have our overall, right, full from the high to the low golden pocket 786 coming in at around 97.6. This is going to be a big key level of resistance that I'm looking at, guys. Like I said, I am really only holding my short position from $102,000. I've closed all my other shorts in massive profit, and then this one's just continuing to play us out. I didn't get stopped out in profit on this just yet, so we'll see. Maybe we'll continue to hold that down even deeper, and it continues to pay us out. But I'll be honest, guys, the fact that we've retraced into this level and we're getting such a harsh rejection here, I really, 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 really don't like that because, again, this is a high probability area to put a lower high in. And what comes after the lower high, guys? The lower low. And, where are those key levels that we're looking at, right? Obviously, we're going to be looking down towards that 786. And remember, guys, we did not, not only did we not fill the whole CME gap, we really only dipped into the top of that CME gap, which in my opinion was, a much better situation, right? Like that's kind of what we wanted to see was like just a tap at the top of that CME gap. But to be quite honest, let me pull up Exo charts here real quick and let me go ahead and pull up the liquidation heat maps real fast here. Bada boom. Let me load it up. And let me jump into chat real quick. Where we at? Let's see. Shout out to Chemistry Bro, said I'm hoping it was just a retrace to fill the new CME that opened up on Sunday. Yeah, shout out to Chem Bro. I am actually in a little bit of a scalp long here with the premium. Very risky position. When I take high probability positions, guys, I consider them high probability. When they're not, I consider them low probability. I'm not going to be surprised if I get stopped out of this, to be honest, but we did come down and test the top of our new CME gap that was formed on Sunday, closer to about, pretty much where we wicked down to right here. We kind of just tapped in 84,848. And we did get some low time frame bullish divergences. Again, I'm going to show you guys some signs on Market Cipher B, which are also not really looking great for a big continuation up, at least from here. But, there's a lot of things pointing against this long position. But I did take it. Low probability, but also low risk. I have a tight stop on this. But let's see. Let's see. Scared to long or short? One tweet and you get liquidated. Yeah, shout out to Jay. I definitely, super volatile times. You got to be really careful. Like even this, scalp long started playing out a little bit, right? And now it's coming back down. We'll see what happens here. But I'll go into that a little bit more in just a minute. But I do want to pull up, guys, the liquidation heat maps really quickly because obviously, I think as you guys know, let me see if I can pull this up full screen for you. As you guys know, right, when we got this big drop down to about $80,000, we had this box of liquidity, right? This box of liquidity is sitting right here. And, we basically just tapped into this very slightly, right? We did not fill all these liquidations. And if we look at it on the heat map, you guys can see, right? This is very much the case, right? We had all these hot spots of liquidity down here, and we really just took like a quarter of them, maybe like half of them, right? So we do still have a bunch of liquidity sitting below this low at about 78,209, right? And this does bring you all the way down, I would say close to about $75,500, right? And if you look at this, right, that liquidity starting right here below this wick, right? Again, 78.2. If we come on down here and we start tapping into these liquidations, guys, we could see another fast move down into our next key zone of support, which does come in at the 786, right? We have a couple of levels in here, right? We have the 786. We also have the weekly naked point of control in there, right? Weekly naked point of control just down below. And I believe we also, we have another level in there. 786, weekly MPOC. Where are my horizontal levels? Where the heck did they go? There we go. Yeah. So yeah, you have a naked point of control. You have the 786, and you have those liquidations sitting there, right? So if we do wind up coming back down, maybe we kind of bing bong around here a little bit, and I'm going to show you Market Cipher B on why. Again, I don't like this fact that we rejected here, right? Like, number one, very simple, right? I don't want to overcomplicate things for everybody, right? I want to keep it like as simple as possible for you guys. And like just from a simple standpoint, right? Like the reason why that rejection is really not that great is simply because we have the golden pocket 786. We know that's a high probability level to put in the lower high, right? So there is a chance, right? And at this point, it's looking pretty good that this could potentially be the lower high before we put in that lower low. Again, to come sweep out this liquidity and push into the golden pocket 786. Oh, and the CME gap. That was the other part that we have down there. We have the bottom of the CME gap, which I'll be honest, guys. At this point, right, like once we come down here, sweep the liquidity, we said we were not going to get overly bearish. We did not. In fact, we were looking for long positions to push back into the value area high / Fibonacci retracement. We got that move. But I'll be honest, guys, if we start working our way back down here and we start playing around with this level, I've been saying this for months, I don't want to come down here. This is really where... Number one, it gets a little bit suspicious, right? Like this is where I really start to worry about the health of this bull market. Even though we have a lot of things, right, as far as like, Trump being in office, pro-crypto president, obviously we have to keep an eye on the monetary policy. If we don't get the QE, we're very likely that, the risk on assets are going to be tied to QE, right? So, but leading up until we see that happen, right? Like, are we going to see big drops to the downside? And I'll be honest, guys, like I really don't want to play with this level. If I come over to a clean chart here, you guys can see, even if I get rid of all this stuff, right? Holding this anchor VWAP would be absolutely insane, absolutely key, right? We really want to hold above the anchored VWAP, which, by the way, right now, 83, almost 84K, right? It's basically sitting at 83,931. However, right, if we're looking for higher lows before massive higher highs, you really hope that it comes in between the golden pocket and the 786. Now, we do have one more fid pull that I'm looking at that could call, maybe if we come down to 72 to 70-ish $1,000, that it might still not be over. But again, you don't want to get caught here just looking at every bounce, hoping it goes back up. But I will just say, right, like I was not worried here. But I am going to be a little bit more worried if we come down to the 786, fill that CME gap in full, and then especially if we start losing the 786, guys. This really does, in my opinion, like this is a big level for me. We start losing this, you are definitely at risk of coming down in a much, much bigger way. And when it comes to bull market, bear market, it's very difficult to call this stuff. And the reason for that is, guys, because at the end of the day, the pullback that we saw here is nothing. I know the altcoins got crushed, but as far as Bitcoin goes, guys, this is really nothing to worry about, right? At least the dip that we saw, 28%. Bitcoin dumps 28% all the time. And I know there was a lot of people, I don't know if somebody made a video about a 20% correction being a bear market or something, but I keep seeing everywhere, we got a 20% correction from the high, it's the bear market. I had a couple people say it in here. I see it all over social media. But at the end of the day, right, like we see 20 and 30% dips in a bull market. Pretty common, right? Like it's not unlikely to see that happen, right? This is crypto. We get those dumps all the time. And if you're looking at just a 20% correction as something to call the bear market on, that means that you had to have called a bear market here, 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 right? Like even this got dang near close to a 20% correction, right? So like that means you're calling bear market here, bear market here, bear market here, bear market here, and then what happens, right? Like you're just consolidating and you get a big move up. So that's not enough for me to call for the bear market, but again, like I said, 30% correction, not too bad. We see that all the time, and then we continue up to higher prices. And at the end of the day, guys, like even if we come down to that 786, this is why I really don't want to deal with this level, because it's a really tough trade. Because sure, we could take the trades, type stop losses, not a big deal. This is really more of a worry for the longer term, because this is a 30% pullback, still nothing really that uncommon. But once we start losing this, guys, what we don't want to do is start messing around with this range back here, because and again, the reason I say this is a difficult situation is because it's not just that, it's not just like, hey, if we lose this, there's not a lot of support below. If we lose this, it invalidates the higher low coming in on this Fibonacci retracement, and you would expect more downside. But just underneath you have 7 months of consolidation. You have a macro value area high. You also have a macro POC sitting at about 67.4, right? And at that point, you might say to yourself, well, surely at that point, right, like this is enough to call for a bear market. 38%. Let's be honest, right? Like it is a little bit more than I would like to see, right? However, at the end of the day, guys, you come back to something like 2021, we had a 55% correction before coming back to all-time highs. So for me to come up here and just be like, that's it, if we break this level, it's the bear market, it is possible that we could see even a 55% correction, right? It's possible because we've seen it happen before, right? I'm not saying it's likely that that wouldn't cause a bear market, but, at that point, it's like, a lot of people probably called the bear market here. And to be honest with you, in hindsight, me personally, I would actually say those people were correct. This was really just a dead cat bounce, in my opinion, a liquidity sweep before getting a massive drop to the downside, however, or back into the real bear market that we saw happen in 2022. But, at the end of the day, right, like if someone was down here being like, that's it, over a 50% dump bear market, right, they're basically calling bear market at a macro bottom for a massive 146% rip to the upside, right? So, it's really hard to just be like, that's it, it's the bear market. And that's why I play it's a level to level. But just to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what we could potentially see happen here, right? Get the drop down. 786 is definitely a key level, right? Especially because we have the weekly naked point of control, and I'll give you guys the actual levels, like the numerical levels in a minute. But, this is our next best area to potentially hold support and then snap this thing back up. Again, not just immediately to all-time highs. We still have to be cautious just like we were here, right? Well, hey, if we come up, money flow is still coming out here. So we have to be careful those lower highs and lower lows. But if we do come down, break the structure, 786 is sitting at about 883, right? Give or take a couple bucks. And then once we start losing this, guys, I'll be honest, man. Value area high of this previous range is coming in at about $70,153. You could potentially even look at the structural support here that we have, which I do have marked off on the other chart. I would pull it to the bodies of the candles, to be honest. Right? So that is coming in closer to about 73,150. So, there is a possibility that we could see something like this happen where we kind of deviate below that 786, come test some of those levels, and then it's still good for more upside, right? So, like, looking at a percentage to the downside is, like, really hard to just call for a bear market, right? Because, this 50% correction at the end of the day in 2021, 50% was the bottom before we went back to make a new all-time high. But at that point, you're not even that close to a 70% dump. Right, so it's like you could consider it a mini bear market, and I would say if we're going to see a bigger drop and we're going to start losing these highs of this previous range, I'll be like, this is, in my opinion, right? This is just, in my personal opinion, this is not really the part of the cycle where we see the top come in and everything goes to zero, right? Maybe pump fund ruined traditional alt season, but I could even see, like, last night on that big pump to the upside, everything all over the internet was like, all right, time for the utility coins to run now. And I do think we might see that at some point, right? Like, once we, all the meme coins, everyone got wrecked on meme coins, pump fund, running into trouble now. And hopefully all those people that got wrecked are going to come back. When they come back to crypto, they're like, I'm not going to buy any memes. I'm going to buy some real projects. And I think that's when you'll see the utility alt season. But at the end of the day, guys, like, 786 at 75, 76K, or call it, 7650, right? Down to these structural highs, down to this value area high, and to be honest, this POC at $67,000, like, these are all key levels down below. We don't know, right, until we come down here and interact with this level that we're going to get the bounce to the upside. And even when we do get a bounce, you can't just say this is the low and you're definitely going off to all-time highs. You have to watch the money flow. The money flow indicates a longer-term trend, and if that money flow is continuing out, you have to be careful of lackluster retracements, lower highs, and continuations down. And, where those retracements are going to be is obviously going to be based off the price action, but if you really do bottom out here right on the 786, might bring you back up to 87K before the lower low. So I'll be honest, right? Like, money flow still coming out on the higher time frames. with the hard rejection out of this range, we have to be careful here. And again, like a big reason I'm saying that is because we rejected that 786 golden pocket retracement, which is a high probability area to put the lower high in at, right? Not great. But if we do, the anticipation would be a breakage structure to the downside. Remember, we have that liquidity sitting down there that we just showed, right? Starting at about 78.2. Right? Look to flush out that liquidity into the 786, and that's an area where I will be looking for scalp longs, right? And to be honest with you, maybe it turns into a swing long, because I would say this is actually a swing long level. But again, we don't know what's going to happen here. We have to keep an eye on money flow and, see what happens, right? And we can capitalize on that move, and then if things start to look good, like we're going to break structure, then we can hold that position for a massive rip up. If not, we could just flip short in those 786 golden pocket retracements like we do here, or look for those rejections like we do here at those fib levels, right? Very, very important. But, just to give some key levels to the downside here, right? Like, I just want to bring them up. Your next zone, 100%, is sitting between 76, I'll say 76.3, all the way down to the, all the way down to these range highs at about 73.6. And again, there's a lot of liquidity here. So if we do come down there, you might slip there, right? Because once you start stopping out all those longs down here with their stop losses below, you're going to get that liquidation wick, right? And it's going to add that sell pressure to the market as those longs get slapped, and it could cause a pretty scary wick, just like we saw here. But you can see how fast those liquidation wicks come in. Right? This is very scary for people, and that's why I love that we prepared the Mafia for this. If we come in here, guys, be aware. Warning, liquidity below, so expect a big, scary liquidation wick. And I always say, like, when we look at these things on the charts, hopefully it gives you a little bit of peace of mind. When you see that fast drop to the downside, hey, we're taking out all that liquidity. I expect those big wicks. And it's the same thing down here, so we'll see. If we come down, right, key levels down below, I will say, I'll give some local levels here, but once we lose that anchored VWAP, 83.7, right, we get underneath that, can't get back above, start losing the golden pocket, you're going to anticipate that 786. So we'll come sweep that liquidity, look to potentially sweep that liquidity into the weekly naked point of control 786, and we'll be looking for bounces there, 100%, right? If it's the low, we'll be long from the bottom. If not, we'll get stopped out for a small loss, and good Lord, we might have shorted the top here in the premium from 102K. I'm not going to lie. I'm only holding a small portion of that trade still, but I am still in it. So, if we do come down there, hopefully we can get the bounce. If not, I'll give like the worst case scenario levels as of right now. And I'm going to show Market Cipher B in 2 seconds here, guys. But I will say, next key levels to the downside, I would watch these structural highs at 73.1. That's just really where we have the start of this consolidation for 7 months. Again, long period of consolidation could be really, really strong support. And then that value area high is coming in at 70,128. But again, like I really hope, I kind of was wishing that we don't have, and still am hoping that we don't have to deal with this, right? Because this is either like a really, really good level to get a bounce, or it's going to be like a huge invalidation for an uptrend and a big dump to the downside. I not worried here. If we come down here, I'm starting to worry. Full disclosure, right? Like coming down here has got me a little bit worried. Not necessarily for a typical 4-year cycle bear market. However, it would get me worried for some more downside. And again, it's a little hard because you're coming into some pretty intense support, right? So it's just a really difficult situation once we come down here. You have heavy support. It's also like your last level that you're looking for a bounce on. So it gets a little bit sketchy. But as far as, this is why I love money flow, right? Money flow is going to give us the guide here. So if we come down, that 2-day money flow is just starting to cross over into the red. Again, that's going to be a bad look for good old Bitcoin. Not going to lie. But I'm going to cover some of the local levels here. And real quick, I do just want to take a look at Market Cipher B here, guys. Another reason why we were looking in the premium here for potential, long positions right down here, right? We were saying like, hey, we had a key level here. But while we were live, I said, guys, listen, we're down at this key level. It was a golden pocket 786 retracement. And I was like, I don't like this, guys. We don't have any confirmation or anything like that. I'm going to sit on my hands and wait for lower. And what happens, right? We sit on our hands and we get lower. And to be quite honest, right? The next real level that I would be waiting for is going to be, let me see if I can pull it up here, this local volume profile. Local golden pocket, right? We have a golden pocket and a daily sitting just below. This is the next closest level of local support, sitting between $84,706 and $83,970. If we come in here, this would, I believe, fill our entire CME gap, as well as come into that nice daily horizontal and the golden pocket. This would be the next area I would be interested in some kind of a bounce coming in. But for the most part, guys, I am kind of sitting on my hands here. It looked really, really nice yesterday. I'm not going to lie. It actually looked pretty nice yesterday with the pump to the upside, and really our goal on Friday was to get above the anchored VWAP and then get above the 85.2 level. And obviously, as soon as we got above that 85.2 level and held it as support, that's where we got the big move up. And then yesterday, what we needed was to hold above this value area low, right? I wouldn't have even minded a little deviation below and then reclaim, but we got a harsh dump here, right? Not that great. And if we look at Market Cipher B, to be quite honest, right, like 30-minute money flow crossing over into the red, right? 8-hour red dot is now printing. So you have that Market Cipher B 116 strategy, which also would, on the 30-minute, call for a continuation to the downside. So the little scalp long that we're in right now in the premium, I am only looking at this right now as a scalp to the upside to put in a lower high and continue at least the 30-minute trend to the downside, right? Because that Market Cipher B 116th, 8-hour red dot, and your 30-minute money flow crossover, that money flow crossover on the 30-minute is oftentimes where you see that downtrend continue or start, right? Depending on the context. Here, it would be a big continuation. So if we do get a little push up here, which again, I would put a low probability on it. I was even telling the premium, like, I expect to get stopped out of this, but if we're going to get a bounce, I want to try to grab some money today. Tight stop on that. And again, the reason why I'm putting low probability on that is not just to be like, well, it's low probability just because I don't like the trade. No, it has to do with the fact that we're fighting money flow here. If we wanted a big bounce to the upside, we would want to see the opposite of this, right? We want to see a big red wave about to cross into the green. We're literally seeing the opposite of that. And especially with the confluence of the 8-hour red dot, it's not the best look, right? Now, if we come up a couple of time frames, 16-hour red dot is not printing yet, right? But it is coming down, looking for a potential print here. Getting pretty close to that zero line with that 16-hour red dot. And you guys know what that means. That means you're going down to that 1-hour time frame and looking for that money flow. And you can see that money flow is just now starting to cross over into the red. So we have a couple of Market Cipher B 116 strategies pointing to a continuation to the downside. And although this is the last thing that I want to see, guys, especially after that news gave us that big pump up, this is, this is not looking great, to be 100% honest. And I really hate to say that. But, again, in the scalp long, we'll see what happens. But if we do continue down, next local level, 84,630, 84,670, right down to the golden pocket with the anchored VWAP just underneath, $84,000, fill the CME gap. Could look for another long there potentially. But even that, guys, like, I am really just waiting for bigger levels to get hit, right? If we do come down, this is the next major level. And I will go over the levels to the upside as well. Because again, at this point, right, if we are going to hold a higher low here somehow, right, this golden pocket retracement here is from the absolute low to the high. So, technically, if we did get a bounce there, let's say we did get a move up, I mean, this just looks weird. This doesn't look like that would be the case. But if you did, right, value area low remains your key level of resistance. Flip above that. That's where you can look to get into your POC. POC sitting at about 96,611. And this is still our biggest level of support resistance, guys, because again, even if we do get a reclaim of this value area, it's not until we flip that POC that we can expect a bigger push to the upside. And remember, we looked at this all last week. Massive liquidity sitting above these equal highs. Above equal highs, liquidity resides, right? And if you take a look at the heat map here, let me see if I can pull it up on a different time frame. If you, I actually you kind of see it on that time frame, but let me see here. Bada boom, bada bang. Oh, there we are. This is the same time frame. I'm just going to show you the same exact thing here. But you can see, like, basically up above this high 99.5 where we were recently short from, right, before the massive drop down. Big liquidity, right? 99.5, 99.450, all the way up to 101, maybe even, a little bit deeper here. And this is really nice. I like that this liquidity lives at about 99.5 all the way into at least 101K. And the reason for that, guys, is because if we come up and we crack this, liquidity, right, it could squeeze us right into that value area high. So right now, we're underneath our main value area, and we don't really have another value area to look at underneath us, right? So I am just looking for higher low entries to take a little scalp long. If we get back in here, really for a bigger short position, I don't know if we're going to get back up there because, again, this could be our macro lower high before breaking structure. But really, like, until we get above 96.6, right, that's where we have the best chance of squeezing that liquidity into the value area high. And even here, guys, if we pull up our overall macro Fibonacci retracement, right, I'll pull this from the high to the low. That 786 comes in at 102.8. Where is our value area high? Sitting right here at 103K. Right? So it would make a lot of sense in my opinion, right? If and when we ever get up here and flip this POC, squeeze all this liquidity above 99.5, pushes us into the value area high. And this is still, this was the second kind of zone. We had the first fib, golden pocket 786 here, which was our first opportunity we looked at yesterday for the lower high before the lower low. But if we continued up, you would be looking at the bigger Fibonacci retracement, right? Which would be confluent. Come on. With the golden pocket POC anchored VWAP, get above that, squeeze all the liquidity into the 786, and this is another opportunity where you could put that lower high in at. But it is looking as of right now with the strong sell pressure that this could be that lower high. We might not even have an opportunity to come all the way back up here. But I just want you guys to be prepared in case we do get more of crazy volatility and we get a big blast to the upside for some reason. When we come in here, right, we're not quite out. That was kind of the point of the update yesterday was like, are we out of the woods, right? Everyone's super bullish on the news. Are we out of the woods? And the answer is no, right? Because we were coming into retracement levels. Now, one more bonus level I do want to show you guys. Obviously, this 786 is getting a little bit sketchy, but if we pull this fib all the way to our low here on August 5th, this is where I have the anchored VWAP pulled. If you pull that from the low all the way to the all-time high, you can see the macro golden pocket is sitting right here, basically right on your value area high and structural support on the top of this range. Right. So again, you have to make your own financial decisions. It's impossible to just say like, hey, this level's broken. It's a bear market. You could say that for this range. Oh my God, we broke the range. It's a bear market. Maybe if someone's calling that, maybe that winds up being right. But it's just not enough on the chart to call for that just yet. And even if we did continue down here, right, 76K at that 786, we lose that. This golden pocket might even be a big level to look at. And at that point, that brings you down, 38%, which isn't impossible to see in a bear market or a bull market. But at that point, the reason this becomes so sketchy and so difficult, right? Like when you have a strong trade setup, it's there, right? Like the signs are clear and the trade should be easy to take. But sometimes the best trades are the hardest ones to take, right? Because if we wind up losing all this support and we're coming down here, oh my God, we broke the 786, no high or low at that level, but now we're hitting the golden pocket value area high, and you have the POC very close to this value area high. This is like another really big zone of support to be looking at. And again, I'm not willing to sit up here and be like, hey, if we come down here, it's guaranteed going to be the low. It's obviously impossible to tell, but this is a hard situation because especially if you wick down to the POC, in my opinion, it might be even better to wait for a reclaim of that value area high before looking for like an actual sign of strength here, a break of market structure in order to call for a bigger move up. Because if you're just trying to long the absolute low down here, you're now below your value area high, right? I'll even hide the golden pocket here real quick just so it doesn't look so confusing, right? Like if you get a move down here, right, you wick below that golden pocket and you start longing off that POC, you have that value area high that's going to be resistance. And if you get stuck underneath here, you could wind up filling this whole range down to 60K. This is why I say when I lose that 786, this now becomes in the card. This becomes a possibility, right? Because, and sure, hopefully we just get the bounce off the golden pocket and send it to zero. I mean, send it to $1 million, right? However, it's really hard to just say like long the heck out of this. We really need to see strong confirmation here because, especially if you wick down to the POC, right? Like now you're below heavy resistance that could call for that much bigger drop down into the 60s. And then would this be where I would call the bear market? It's really difficult, guys, right? Because let's be honest, that would be a 47% pumped rip to the downside. Instead of sitting here being like, it's the bear market, so we could say we called the bear market next cycle, I'll be looking at it from a chart perspective, right? Because when you look at the chart, I don't care if this is the bear market, right? Like, because at this point, you had a massive move to the upside. In my opinion, this push up, like, I don't know. Like, people who were looking for 100K here, like, I don't know. There were so many signs saying the top was in, right? But, like, once you get this big drop down, I don't want to be the person that says bear market before a massive retracement, even if it is just a lower high and a lower low. Right? Like you just can't get super bearish at support. And that would be what you would have to do if you come down to this golden pocket, right? Like if you're just going to say like, that's it, bear market. It's like, well, if it is a bear market, you're very likely going to get some kind of a bounce here. So, again, and then at that point, this is less of a pullback than we got here. And we wound up putting in a new all-time high. So if that doesn't put it in context for you guys, calling the top, like I know a lot of people are okay doing that, like, oh, this is the bear market, right? And that's fine. Maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong, right? But it's really difficult to do, right? Like eventually someone who calls the top at the tippy top is going to be right. But it doesn't mean that they have a high probability of being right. They might look back and be like, hey, we were right about this. Like even me, right? Even for the calls that I make, I called for the bottom to come in here, on Bitcoin between 12 and 14K. And then we saw this weekly bullish divergence forming. And this is where I was like, hey guys, like this looks like a better chance than any that the low is in. But I could have been wrong there. It just turns out that I was right in that case. And sure, it was backed up by a ton of information and a ton of analysis. And maybe we had a high probability of being right, but there was still a chance of us being wrong there. So, I wouldn't try not to get so caught up on understanding if the bear market or bull market is on, if the bull market's on or the bear market's here, etc. Right? You just got to be really careful with that because it's very difficult, right? Like, and just understand people don't advertise when they were wrong. when they call for that stuff. They only advertise when they were right. And like I'm sure, I don't know for a fact, but I'm positive that at least probably a ton of people were calling for a bear market here. And again, I kind of think they were right. At the end of the day, this was the real top of the cycle. But what happened? Massive 140% pump back to the upside before finally going into the bear market. So were they right? I think they were technically, but if they were telling everybody sell your bags is the bear market, it was the worst time to sell. So these things are very difficult, and that's why I come to you guys with like scenarios that are likely to play out, right? More often than not, they do, right? We look for the move up to the value area low. We got it. We knew the value 786 golden pocket is a high likelihood place for a rejection. We got it. Right? But there's just no 100% setup here, in my own personal opinion. I do not like the 8-hour and 30-minute money flow crossover, the market cipher B1/16. I don't like the 16-hour red dot incoming with the 1-hour money flow crossover. These things traditionally call for a continuation down. And that's why I am looking at this little scalp long that I'm sitting in as a lackluster retracement potentially to put in a lower high and then continue to lower prices, where I will just be looking to come into local Fibonacci retracements from this high to this low and just some other local fib levels in between. So I'm pretty much sitting on my hands. Like I said, I did take the long position here. It's up about $300. Pretty much sitting at break even here. I'll just show that real quick. All right, so there's the scalp long position in the premium up to 41 here, and we'll see what happens. But like I said, I am expecting to probably get stopped out of this position if I'm being completely honest. I would much, and even if it does continue to play out, I'm looking for something more like this, right? A little. Just based off the higher time frames. I'm not loading up on massive swing long down here. Let's see. Can we take a look at Amp, please, stunning Italian man? Shout out to Crash. Crash, why'd you have to come and show your face today? We love you, Crash, but the Bulls hate you. Shout out to Crash. Welcome in, bro. You stunning Italian man. Also, 4 years later, I finished college. Probably won't remember, but this channel started my journey and let me be able to go back to school. Shout out to Crash, bro. Let's go. This is what I love to hear. That's what I love to hear. Shout out to Crash. Welcome, bro. Thank you for being back here. And yeah, hopefully, I'm glad that you went to school, but hopefully we can assist you in not even ever having to use your degree so you can make money sitting at your computer every single day. Shout out to Crash. Welcome in. Let's see. Yeah, hang on one second, guys. I do see that Golden gifted 50 Frankie Candles memberships. Absolutely unbelievable. Shout out to Golden. Hang on. Let me get in here. Unbelievable. Shout out to Golden. You're the GOAT, bro. Thank you for gifting those memberships, and shout out to everybody. Some people were saying they're like, man, I got a great name. And I guess Golden heard that. He heard his ears ringing that people were looking for memberships. Thank you so much for that, Golden. And he also hit us with a super chat and said, Sunday was the first Golden Swan. I loved every minute of it. However, this dump wasn't me. Shout out to Golden, who may or may not be pulling the strings. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. I think. But shout out to Golden. Said first ever Golden Swan was also my birthday. Happy birthday to Golden. Let's go. Shout out to you, bro. Dang, I wish I got you on your actual birthday, bro. But shout out to Golden, guys. Drop a Golden happy birthday by spamming that Golden emoji, especially if you just got a membership. Drop that Golden emoji and wish our boy a happy birthday. The Golden Swan event played out. Shout out to Golden. I guess I'm not going to lie, guys. I wouldn't be surprised if Golden knew that a crypto reserve was coming or that news was coming. Let's go. Shout out to Golden, bro. You're the man. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. There we go. Show some love for our boy Golden in the chat, bro. Thank you so much for dropping those memberships, bro. We appreciate you. I appreciate you genuinely. Let's go. Happy birthday, Golden. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Shout out to Golden. But yeah, guys, this is what I'm looking at. I am not, forcing anything. I am not, again, if I get stopped out of this long, no big deal. I'll just wait for the bigger key levels. I'll be honest. Like, I don't love this. I would have really loved this more or liked this more if we came down to the Golden Pocket Daily. So before we move on to the alts, which is going to be next, I'm just going to show this, right? We continue down. I would be looking for something more like this. This would be a little bit of a prettier setup, in my opinion. If we do break the low into the Golden Pocket, maybe we put in some nice bullish divergences there. At that point, maybe we do have a green dot looking to print on the 4-hour. Your 15-minute money flow comes up. So this is going to be kind of the next level I'm be looking at for a bounce, right? Why? Because we have Confluence, Golden Pocket, daily, and I believe we also have a weekly naked point of control in there as well, or maybe just below. So That's our next level. If we continue down, I'll stop out and then look at this next level for a bounce. And at the end of the day, if we're not going to get that bigger retracement from here or from here, we could be in for a little bit more pain, guys, if I'm being quite honest. So hopefully, hopefully it doesn't happen that fast. Hopefully we don't just come down here to tomorrow back down to not this 786, but the bigger 786 at 70, around this area where we have that weekly naked point of control. But I'll be honest, guys, if we're just looking at simple market structure, not going to lie, a lot of the money flow is pointing towards something like this happening. But again, I'm holding my short from 102K, so we'll continue to profit on that if it plays out. If not, if I was not in this short or in this long, maybe I'd take a shot at that golden pocket, but I'd be looking at it as a scalp. Other than that, guys, I'm sitting on my hands. I'm waiting for the high probability trade setups, guys. Sometimes the best trade is no trade. Even though I am in 2 trades. But for the most part, guys, like I would really be waiting for a bigger level to get hit. And honestly, all those bigger key levels are above us, inside here, inside the macro volume profile, right? We also have, daily naked points of controls everywhere up here too. Anchored VWAPs. We have a lot of resistance above, not a lot below. So, I would just rather wait for again, little scalps at these local levels. If we get the bigger move down, that's the next big area I'm interested in. And if we get some kind of a pump to the upside, we're looking at that POC as key resistance in order to get a potential push up to that value area high. But let's see. Shout out to Blockchain Domain, said, I'm revenge trading today. Lost 4 trades in a row. Send help. Blockchain, no. Somebody call Blockchain. Sound the alarm. We got to get an alarm here. We got to get an alarm in the studio with flashing lights and stuff. Somebody save Blockchain. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Shout out to Blockchain Domain. Well, I wish you the best of luck. I can't tell you what to do with your trades, but I don't recommend revenge trading. But please, if you are going to be out there doing that, I hope the crypto gods and the trading gods are on your side. But that's what we're looking at, guys. At the end of the day, keeping it simple. Other than the this candle don't look good. I'll tell you that. Nice, this is a 2-day candle, but nice daily candle, and now a gross 2-day candle. Not the best thing in the world. And again, I will just say, guys, the area we dumped from was one of those areas that has the high probability of the lower high. So don't want to beat the dead horse, but this could make sense. So we'll see what happens. And hopefully the scalp long plays out. If it stops out, the short continues to play out, and we wait for the next key levels. I like to keep things, I want to try to start keeping things a little bit more simple on this live stream, just because I know not everybody cares about the internal, like, tiny little Fibonacci levels that we're taking trades off of. So I want to try to keep it like a little bit bigger levels on the live stream, just to very, very simply put, guys, we lose this anchored VWAP, right? Bearishly retest it. This is a huge level to remain above, right? We break down below that. 786 is very likely. And if that 786 breaks, next zone sitting down here between 69,650 and 73,162, right? But we'll see what happens. Hopefully we can get some more price action to play out this weekend or this week. And we'll see what happens. Things are going to be changing fast here, especially with all this volatility. It's getting crazy. It's over, Frankie. Shout out to Tony Roaz. Bear market is here, guys. Bear market is here. I don't, I can't say just because I don't fall, again, I personally don't think that, I don't feel like we are at that point in the cycle, right? I think it'd be weird to not have any kind of utility alt season. We haven't gotten QE yet, right? And again, maybe we see more pain, and then the QE winds up pumping us up, right? So there's like a lot of things that could play out here other than bear market, bull market, right? Like a lot of people just want to know, like, is it the 4-year bear market? People think that price is just going to go, okay, bear market, accumulate, buy, bull market, right? And bear markets play out for a very long time, right? Like from the top to the bottom, right? And I'll even say like from the top to the first big breakout, right? Or the first key break of structure was like really like 708 days, right? Like this bear market is long and brutal, right? So if you're new to crypto, just understand you have to have patience, right? Even if we did go into a bear market, if you're looking for a 4-year cycle traditional bear market, you are looking at something like this, right? Which obviously, if we pull this as a bars pattern, let's just say 110K was the top before we wound up breaking structure to the upside, right? So if you're looking at something like that, right? Like this is something that you're looking at, right? Like you're not looking to really break structure and come into a bull market again, if you're going by history, right? Like 2026, right? That's not what anybody wants. And again, is it possible? Sure, maybe, right? Like definitely, I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'll never come up here and tell you that's impossible. 66 to 70% dump, spend some time down there. Maybe that is something that we see happen. But at the end of the day, this is just, in my opinion, I've been through these cycles quite a few times. Just not really, we didn't see the blow-off peak euphoria. I'm not talking about a blow-off top. I'm talking about like crazy retail interest. It never came in. And right now, we're in a much better situation from a fundamental perspective to get massive euphoria from retail, right? Like massive retail entering back into the market. Like we just never got that in this cycle just yet. And to be quite honest, there's still a lot of time left here. Unless we have a left translated cycle where we peak out much earlier than normal, which again is very hard to predict. At the end of the day, right, like the chances of, there's a lot of things pointing towards the top not being in, but it doesn't mean that we can't endure a little bit more pain, especially if you're looking at like pullbacks like this, where you see a 50% pullback before a new all-time high, right? Like you could endure a lot more pain here before finally getting your big blast off to higher prices. But at the end of the day, guys, it's not about, it's not about calling the top and the bottom, right? Like we will just trade the charts, right? If we long here and this winds up being the bottom, great. If we long at 786, that winds up being the bottom, great. We long down here, that's the bottom, great. Right. But at the end of the day, if we do wind up getting the bigger breakdown, we could look at the idea of like, hey, is this going to be a 4-year cycle bear market? But like that stuff is just really easier to call in hindsight, right? Hindsight's 2020. And a lot of the people that are just saying 110K is the top. They said the same thing here. They said the same thing here. They said the same thing here. They said the same thing here and the same thing here. Right. I'm not saying that that means that it's not going to be true here. I'm just saying, just understand that like a lot of people say this all the time. So, you have to take that with a grain of salt. There's nothing that they can know or see that we're not looking at that is going to guarantee that the bear market is here, right? We have the weekly bear divs. We have the monthly bear div, the monthly red dot confirmed. We even have the weekly money flow coming out, right? Like this is not a great look, right? So again, I am entertaining the fact that 108, 109K is the top, right? But I don't know. I still have a little bit of hope here. But at the end of the day, right, like I have a plan for my hope. I'm not just like holding everything, for a massive move to the upside. And if it doesn't happen, I'm going to get wrecked. So we'll just play it ear to ear. Ear to ear? That's not how you say that. But let's see. Shout out to Golden. Thank you for the super chat. I said last week what a golden swan is and hinted it was coming. I did it. The market didn't. The market didn't like that and dumped. It back down today. That's okay. Gives me another chance to do it again and stack more. Shout out to Golden, baby. We need a golden swan indicator. Shout out to Golden, bro. Insane. What do you think is going to happen in the White House crypto summit? I don't know. Just to answer that straight, I do not know. Obviously, this is good news for crypto, right? Like the crypto reserve is obviously bullish for crypto long term, but you have to have patience, right? Like if there's one thing that especially new people, I know everyone who's been here, everyone in the Mafia that's been here for quite some time, you guys know how this goes, right? Like if you made it from when I started this channel all the way through this bear market and you saw these moves back up to 100K finally, you know what this can look like and how painful this can be. But if you are new to crypto, guys, you need to have some patience and you also need to have a stomach for volatility. Right? And it's funny, I got text messages from a bunch of people recently on this dump. It's going like, what the heck is going on, dude? Like, why is this dumping so hard? Or why is this pumping so hard? Whatever it is. I probably got like 50 text messages. And like, I just told them, everybody, just scroll up a little bit. Scroll up to our messages a couple months ago. Honestly, man, I'm thinking we could probably go to 80K. And if we go down there, I'm not calling for the bear market yet. And they're like, what's going on? Why are we dumping? I'm like, just scroll up and read that message, dude. We're just seeing what we were looking for play out. And if you go to my Bitcoin prediction, my 2025 Bitcoin prediction video, I even mentioned that. And we were all the way over here during that time, right? Saying even if we dump to 80K, this is something we could potentially see happen, right? And it wouldn't necessarily mean the bear market is here. So we'll see what happens, right? There's a possibility that we come down here. Everyone's like, this is guaranteed a bear market. You're an idiot if you don't think this is a bear market. And then we get a big pump. And then they were just wrong, right? You got to accept that you're going to be right or wrong in one situation. You just have to pick the pick your situation and pick the side that has most odds in your favor, and then you go with that, and then the rest is just risk management, right? You can be wrong as long as you're managing that risk. Let's see. Shout out to Golden. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Golden going crazy today. He says, Frankie, check DMs, LMAO. Shout out to Golden. Yeah, I am so behind on my DMs. I got to get to them. Golden, yeah, I said I was going to hit you up. I got home super late that night, but I will hit you up, bro. Tony D is back in the studio. I was kind of holding down the fort for a while. while, so things got hectic. But shout out to Golden. Yes, I will check my DMs. Let's see. Golden's the best. Shout out to Pravi. I don't know how to say that. But yeah, guys, that is. Oh wow. Speak of the devil. Shout out to Tony D. Said, okay, I'm officially back home from vacation, ready to ban people in chat. Who's first? Yo, Tony D just went out on vacation, just comes back an absolute savage. Shout out to Tony D. But let's see. Welcome back, Tony D. How was the vacation? Tony D was out there. He's a wild man. He was snowboarding. He was surfing. He was doing all his crazy stuff. I didn't even know you could do that at the same time. But anyway, let's continue on. The Band Hammer. Shout out to Hollywood. Your band. Everybody gets banned. Shout out to Tony D. But anyway, ban me. But anyway, guys, that's what we're looking at on Bitcoin. Those are my thoughts here. We'll see if we get the local retracement up. If not, again, I don't want to beat the dead horse. I think you guys get it. Don't love that we rejected that. And shout out to anybody who saw the market update yesterday. We just rejected that Fibonacci retracement. Not the best look. Once we lose this anchored VWAP, I'm looking for the bigger drop down to the 786 Fibonacci retracement with all that liquidity down below. If you missed that, you're just tuning in. Go to the beginning of the stream, get the full sauce on Bitcoin, and while you're doing that, we're going to start taking a look at some altcoins, guys, starting with Ethereum, which was looking so good, and then it was looking so bad. We got the pump. We got the dump. Let's see. Just stepped in here. Shout out to Fast Easy Cash. Welcome in, bro. Thank you for being here. Smash that like button on your way in. And, yeah, welcome in, bro. Shout out to Dominique said, dude, he's bearish AF all the time. Shout out to Dominique. I don't know if you're talking about me or not. But I am definitely not bearish all the time. I am bearish when everybody is. I'm bearish when everybody's bullish. I am bullish when everybody's bearish. For example, everybody, yeah. Everybody on this jump to the downside was very, very bearish. Oh my God, bear market in, bear market in, bear market in. Oh my God, it's the top. Which, although might be the case, but we are not getting bearish here, right? We said for months that we would be bullish down here, looking for long positions in the premium Discord, which we absolutely were doing. So yeah, only bearish when we think it's going to go down. We were bearish up here, right? And I don't know if Dominique is actually talking about me, but anyone who thinks that I am always bearish, just take this for what it's worth. We are bearish when we think price is going to go down, and more often than not, we are right about that. Everyone's like, "Why is this guy always bearish? Why is this guy always bearish? Oh my God, Frankie Candle's the bear," and then boom, right? If it looks like we're going to moon, we're going to be bullish. If it looks like it's going to dump, we're going to be bearish. And then when we know those big drops, everyone gets bearish. That's typically when we're bullish. So, yeah, I don't know if you're talking about me, but I am definitely not always bearish. But I definitely am if I think price is going to go down. But anyway, let's see. Alt-right says bear case still in. Yes, absolutely. Gordon said Frankie Candles is a balanced ninja that moves with the markets. Yeah, absolutely. I would say if anything, yeah, like I would expect more people to think I flip-flop more, which I 100% do. I love that. I say this all the time. It's my favorite thing when people are like, you just flip-flop bullish and bearish. And I'm like, you didn't catch me doing anything. That's exactly what I do. 100%. That's how do you think we crush the trades up and down all the time? You have to be willing to flip bullish and bearish. But yeah, and yeah, I will say, if you do find yourself out there, right, whether I'm bullish or bearish, right, I could be bullish today, bearish tomorrow, bullish on the 5-minute, while also bearish on the higher time frames. But I will just say, if you find yourself only gravitating to people who are bullish, I highly caution you against that. That is not going to make you money. I promise you that. Shout out to Golden said, do some TA on the Golden Swan that happened and where all those shorts were sitting that got liquidated. Golden. What did you do, Golden? I'm going to do Ethereum real quick, Golden, and then I'm going to do that. Golden, did you go bear hunting? Did you go bear hunting this weekend, Golden? Oh my God. I already know what I'm going to see when I look at this. Shout out to Golden. But yeah, we're going to take a look at XRP. I'm going to take a look at Ethereum really quickly right now. So yeah, so on Ethereum, guys, right? We looked for that daily bullish divergence. This was like the biggest thing that we were looking at as price action was moving down, right? We had some local Fibonacci retracements, right? In which case, right? If we got the bull divs down there, that would have been a great place to bounce. However, I didn't really love this level because we had this bigger key level down below. If we can't get back above the POC, we look for price to go to the value area low. We finally come down and tap that value area low. Even though we got close here, more often than not, you are going to look for that physical tap of the value area low. And we did wind up getting that, right? But what do we actually get? We got the final bullish divergence to print here, and that's where we got the bigger move to the upside, now getting completely eaten up. And I'll be honest with you guys, I mean, sure, maybe we hold the value area low for the second time, but I'll be honest, I really would prefer to see this monthly MPOC tapped. We took a look at this on Friday's live stream. Sure, we got the bounce to the upside. That was nice, but I still would have loved to see that monthly naked point of control tapped, right? So I would still, daily bull div is in, 16-hour red dot printing. I would love to come down here and take the lows again. Number one, we have liquidity sitting down below. Number two, we have the monthly naked point of control. So if we could come down here, take the liquidity, snap back up, reclaim the monthly naked point of control, get back above the value area low, that's where I'd look for the bigger move up on Ethereum. This is actually a level that we have been waiting out on in the Discord for quite some time. We had a long setup down here that played out beautifully, and then it came back down to basically break even, and now it's back up a little bit. But at the end of the day, I am still going to be looking for a potential sweep of liquidity down here because those licks are sitting down here. And again, monthly naked point of control, very, very key level of support. So if, right, I mean, and at the end of the day, guys, if you look at this from a higher time frame perspective, right, shorts above the high, back into the range, POC, value area low. Push into the low. Maybe you deviate down, sweep the liquidity, come back in. That's where we're looking for longs, as this is an undervalued asset based off the relative price. And then you come back up, right? You look to flip that POC and then send this thing up to some higher prices. You do have some local levels in here. I don't think you're going to get up here today or tomorrow. So I will leave those, kind of unmentioned. But POC to the upside, 23.23 is going to be your next key level of support. If you get the bigger drop to the downside, I'm going to be looking for bounces from here, especially if we can get that sweep of liquidity into the naked point of control. I will be looking for confirmations if I am at the charts for a potential long on Ethereum if we come take those levels again. But right now, 16-hour red dot, 12-hour red dot about to print, and then we take a look at our higher time, medium time frame money flow. 1 hour coming to the red, 90-minute money flow kind of flat. Let's check our 45-minute money flow in the red. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, we're at support, but we'll see if those higher time frame red dots can bring us down. 16-hour, 12-hour red dot. I would love to get pushed a little bit deeper here, but at the end of the day, you are hitting support, so we'll see. 23.20 POC is your key level above. Once you flip that, you could potentially look to go into the local value area low at $2,500 to $2,600. Biggest level of support, or resistance, I should say, on Ethereum. Pretty much, again, we've basically been looking at the same chart forever on Ethereum, but pull up the current range, right? $3,000 is the biggest level, right? Value area low, golden pocket. We have a whole anchored VWAP from the all-time, or not all-time high, but the cycle high here. Anchored VWAP up there. This is still our biggest level of resistance, and if we start looking at it from different points of view here, if I pull up the macro, or not the macro, where is it? May value area. This is a very large, not only the value area low of your upper range here, but it also comes very close to your value area high of your May range. I don't want to confuse everybody with these levels, but just understand $3,000, that golden pocket, which actually is going to move a bit because we did get the bigger drop down, very slightly moves the level, but pretty much the same zone, right? Between $2,900 and $3,000, this is your biggest level of resistance. Everything else, right, we get a bigger move up, reclaim this, get a bigger move to the upside. But for the most part, I am viewing things right now on Ethereum through the lens of the macro volume profile. You're at support, POC above, flip that. It will give you a open door to higher prices. But at the end of the day, guys, we're at the macro value area low, not the best place to just be looking for fresh shorts. So, yeah. We'll see what happens. I've been waiting for this level on Ethereum for quite some time, and I'll be honest, I was starting to think that maybe we weren't going to get it. And what happens, right? We do. The TA plays out once again. Which indicators are you using? Shout out to British. I don't know how to say your name. It's similar to British, but more of a pretty British, I guess. But yeah, shout out to you, bro. This is Market Cipher B on the bottom. This is our oscillator, Market Cipher B. And then we also have this is a fixed range volume profile. This is free on TradingView. And then Market Cipher B is a paid indicator, but if you want to check them out, you could save 20% with our discount code MCFrank20. This is not a shill. This is an indicator that I've been using way before I ever ever knew crypto face, way before I ever had a YouTube channel. I've been using this indicator for many years, and it is by far one of the best indicators you could possibly use. Let's see. Yeah, ETH is on sleeping tablet. Shout out to Daily Profits. Yeah, absolutely, bro. She's sleeping. She's sleeping. But again, like I said, we've been watching this lower liquidity ever since even back here. Right, we've been looking at that lower liquidity. So we're just finally coming back to tap it. I mean, you could probably find some old streams of me, like even on the way back up, being like, we still have liquidity sitting down here. As soon as we had these front run wicks here on this value area low, I was suspicious of these lows getting taken. And now they're finally getting taken, even though it took, dang near a year to get there, or half a year to get there. But we are seeing it swept. So I would love to clear out the last of that $2,000 liquidity into the monthly naked to see another bounce. ETH needs an inhaler. Shout out to Chemistry, bro. I wouldn't have one to let it borrow, but if I did, I totally would. Shout out to Chem, bro. Sold my Hawk Tua coin for ETH, but I'm not sure it will perform better. Shout out to Gordon. Yeah, it's pretty brutal out there. Shout out to Pravi said ETH Solana can go to $80 or lower easily. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, so what we've been looking at on Solana, actually Solana's kind of been Solana front ran our levels here, or blasted through this one and then front ran these. Oh no, it didn't. This is if we update this, you can't make it up. So for Solana, guys, we knew once we lost this low, we were going to come down to this value area high. Couldn't hold the value area high. You get accepted into the range. You look for a move to the POC. Can't get above the POC. You look for a move down to the value area low. The volume profiles are absolutely 100% undefeated, right? And even if you just hide this stuff, 786, POC, right? And you just have your value area low down here. You lose this range. You're just looking at this as value. Right? This is like a perfect example of how we trade volume profiles, right? We are simply just trading the rotation of value. You have a balanced area here, aka a value area, and then you get imbalance out of that range. You start this new range, right? Another area of balance. Once you lose this area, price is very likely to seek out the previous area of balance and fill that range in full. This is how we call for these moves so accurately. We just know if you lose this range, that value area high is the next target. Sure, you can bounce there, but if you cannot hold that as support and you get sucked back into your range, right? Little bounce on the value area high, get back in, can't get back out, back to the POC, can't get back above that POC. You are going to look for the value area low to get tapped. And then where do you get the bounce? Back to the value area high from the value area low. Once you get back below that value area high, POC is the next likely place for price to go, and then the value area low. When you hold the value area low, the next likely place for price to go is the POC. Get above the POC, next likely place for price to go is the value area high. Some people call this an 80% setup, and I would have to agree with that percentage because it's dang near an 80% hit rate. And you don't even need that to make money trading, guys. You do not need a 85% hit rate to make money trading, right? But at this point, we got in the rip up. Where are those areas that you're going to be looking for rejections? We had the local golden pocket, which I had on the chart before. That didn't get respected, but we pushed into the next key level, which would be the golden pocket 786, pulled from this high to this low, and we rejected that golden pocket. And at this point, what happened, right? You can even see it plays out perfectly here. You get rejection, value area high gives you a bounce. As soon as you get stuck inside this range, you are going to be looking for the POC to be the next likely place for price to go. If you lose that POC, you're going to be looking down towards that value area low once again, right? Very simple volume profile trading strategy. Value area low, POC, value area high. Value area high, POC, value area low. And to be honest, this daily is tapped, so I will get rid of this daily, and I will change this box, right, to the value area low and the untapped daily underneath. So we'll see. We can't reclaim this daily. I mean, this POC. I'll be honest. Let me pull from this low to the high. Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. You lose the 786 at about $1.36. Very high probability of you're coming down back to about a 126.72 all the way down to 124.78. And then we can look for maybe a deviation, a reclaim, and then a move back up to the POC potentially. But that 786 is going to be your key level, right? Can't get back above the POC, lose the 786. And just in terms of the volume profile, you're already at the POC, so lose that going down to the value area low. Calling for an $80 Solana. It's a little too far. for me to like really look at that as a like the next target or anything like that. But if we pull a quick little fixed range volume profile here, this is not really a very clean. Not a very clean range, but yeah, you do have another volume profile down beneath. We'll bring up the lower levels of support if we need to. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, that 2-hour money flow, 2-day money flow, crossing over into the red. That's why we were open to getting a move back into this range, right? Bearish retest, lower lows and lower highs, right? We get the bounce, lower high, potentially a lower low. But I would just be looking at this volume profile. Even if you deviate, make a new low, reclaim, you could potentially look for some scalp trades on the way back up. But yeah, probably have a lot of liquidity sitting below these wicks at about 109.50 as well. So yeah, but other than that, you're just working within your volume profile. If you reclaim the POC, again, this will probably act as a magnet for price. You kind of bing bong around here. But you lose this, probably look for the bigger drop down to the value area low / daily. Pretty simple there. These levels have been the same for quite some time. And again, 2-day money flow, right? Like the reason I would be more looking for potential continuation down was based off this money flow. It's not just because I feel bearish. And, I would say, oh, I call it every time, right? But no, it's just the money flow. And you know how rarely that money flow lies. Insane. Let's see. Shout out to Pritish says how to use the Frankie Candles indicator. If you hit the beginner series on the YouTube channel, I have a video showing you how to use the Frankie Candles Essentials indicator, which is essentially a fixed range volume profile just like this with a little bit of extra sauce, a couple added features to help you understand how I do my TA and look for my setups. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Ando, says, how many candles do you wait for till you know it's going to hold an area of value? Shout out to Ando. It's not an amount of candles. It is a confirmation, right? So if I were looking for, say, a short position, right? Let's say I was looking for a short position above the volume profile to get a move back in and then push down towards that POC value area low. It is not an amount of candles. It is a confirmation. So very often, right, I always say deviations above the value area high is where we look for shorts, and then a deviation below the low is where we look for the longs, right? So I'll do this for instance, both of these trades, right? If you look at this, right, what you're going to be looking for is bullish divergences, which, to be honest, you would have to probably find on a pretty low time frame because we didn't spend a lot of time down here. But you did get some lower time frame bull divs here. You have lower lows on your price action, higher lows on your momentum wave. So you get that bullish divergence into your key level of support. And then that is really where, it's a different setup every single time. There's no one entry confirmation that you could just see on the chart, fire on, and it's going to work every single time. But typically when you start seeing these bullish divergences with money flow coming up, that is oftentimes where you're going to see some kind of reversal. And when it happens at that value area low, if you could get that reversal to come in, money flow comes back up, hey, if I'm expecting an uptrend based off of money flow coming up, and I have that POC acting as a magnet above, I know that, hey, if I'm long from the low, that POC is going to be the next likely place for price to go. And very similarly, so I don't count how many candles are closing up here or anything like that. I mean, you could look for like 4-hour candle closures or like maybe a daily candle closure above, similar to what we looked at on the anchored VWAP when it was coming in on Bitcoin. But even here, right, like what would I be looking for here? I would probably be looking for bearish divergences, right, above that value area high. And again, if you're new here, guys, when you trade a volume profile, this is your fair value. So basically the way we trade is we trade the extremes of the profile, right? If you're fair, you could think of this as a fair value for Bitcoin, right? Or Solana in this case. When you deviate above this level, it's saying within the recent price action, this is an overbought level. This is an expensive asset. And that's why when we deviate above, this is also where a lot of people start to get bullish. And this is why I'm usually bearish when we get breakouts like this, because I'm looking for shorts. So you deviate above the high, right? This is an overvalued asset. I'm looking for shorts, right? And in this case, right, it's not that I would just short a bearish divergence. That's a really dangerous game to play. But you have higher highs on your price action, lower highs on your momentum waves, and then your momentum crosses back over into the red. So that could be looked at as one of your confirmations. You could look for many different confirmations. Every trade setup is going to be a little bit different, but it is more that, right? If I see, hey, we're ranging around up here, I have bearish divergences, maybe an SFP, bearish CVD, whatever the actual confirmations are. They, again, like I said, they do change from time to time, or not time to time. They change from trade to trade. And then at that point, right, I'm looking to take a short position here, right? Stop loss maybe above the high. And then I'm targeting, maybe I'm looking at this as like, hey, if I have higher time frame signs like the 2-day money flow coming out, maybe I think we are going to go down and make a lower low. So maybe I'm targeting that value area low. But at that point, right, even if we just make it down to that value area high, I could take profits, move my stop loss to break even, and boom, I'm in a guaranteed winning trade. If it stops me out, I make money. And if it keeps getting stuck underneath that value area high, right, you come in, can't get back above, I let that play out to the POC. There's another beautiful take profit. And then at that point, I can move my stop loss into profit maybe, or just leave it at break even with profits locked in. And then if we lose that POC, we see that trade play out in full at the value area low daily, which would be the next target. So it's not a candle closure thing. It's more of do I have the signals, right? Do I have the entry confirmations to take a shot at the short position? That's all it's about. So there you go. Let's see. The 70K-ish bounce will be will be lightning fast. Yeah, I mean, listen, we do have the liquidity sitting down there to cause that fast flush, right? We come on down there, could cause that fast flush, and then the quick recovery, because you bet your bottom dollar that everyone and their grandma is going to be shorting those lows. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Thank you, Kembro. Said you missed a super chat from Killigan and Golden. Shout out to Killigan and Golden. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Kilgannon. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Said, put in $70, 50x long on Trump at $13 on Saturday. Round tripped a 1,400% gain. Always take profits. Shout out to Kill, bro. I'm sorry that happened to you, but I am clapping because you are preaching the truth. You must take profits when you're in the green, no matter how bullish your setup looks, no matter how good your setup looks. There is always an opportunity for the market to turn around on you. No one is ever going to know 100%, including you, including me, including every analyst and trader out there. No one is going to know 100% where this thing is going. So be careful and always pay yourself when you're in the green. And that's why I love trading the volume profiles, because of that whole thing that I just showed you, right? I can lock in some profits here, and now I'm in a guaranteed winning trade. If it stops me out, I make money. If it continues down, that is the best way to not only be in guaranteed winning trades, but to maximize your opportunity to take profits. Trading in this manner, right? Like if you find the short up here, you ride it down to the value area high, you take partial profits. It does two things, right? Your stop loss is at break even. You're in a guaranteed winning trade. You get stopped out, you make money. This removes fear, right? And it also removes FOMO, because you're protecting yourself while also keeping an opportunity for massive gains, right? So you kind of calm down the fear, you calm down the greed, and oftentimes it will help you make a lot of money. This is exactly what we did on the short positions from $102,000 and $102,000 and $99,000 from all the way up here on Bitcoin, right? We were able to manage both of those trades and capitalize on them in a huge way, right? Because I just, in profit, moved my stop loss into profit, took some money off the table. So this trade has been safe. If it blasted up, I would have gotten stopped out in profit, but it didn't. So I had the open door to continue down through the profile. Value area high, POC, value area low, and then I took a little more profit, and I said, hey, well, if we break down from here, I'll continue to profit, move my stop loss down a little bit, and it's a good way to keep an open, again, like kind of feed that greed while also managing the fear, which is really, really good. Shout out to Golden. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He said, I had to try it out first and enjoy it for my birthday, but next time I'll let you and the Mafia know when the next Golden Swan event is going to happen. Shout out to Golden. So let me take a look at that real quick over on good old Bitcoin here. So let's go ahead and see real quick, right? So actually, something that we took a look at here on was it Friday? Let me pull some stuff up here. I'm going to pull up the shorts. Bada boom, bada bing. Let me see something here. Okay, so yeah, on that pump to the upside, yeah, a lot of shorts entering right here, which very quickly started getting slapped right back out. Everyone, people just shortened the move up, and they absolutely got slapped here. Let me pull up the open interest real quick. Pull up the longs as well. Yeah, we kind of had a massive open interest. Yeah. You see the shorts, this is kind of hard. I don't really focus a lot on this on the YouTube channel. I know this is really confusing if you guys don't know what you're looking at. But this just shows your shorts opening and closing, and then this shows your longs opening and closing. And you can see over here we had a lot of shorts open up right here, right? We just zoom into the candle here. Yeah, a lot. Yeah, 7.4 million. So you did have a lot of shorts opening here, right? And you had longs opening too, but you had more shorts than longs, right? And if people are shorting up here, where are their stop losses going to go? Their stop losses are going to go above previous highs, right? So once you start cracking those highs, that's typically where you see the flush out or the actual short squeeze, right? So the shorts come in here, but what happens on the next candle, right? This next candle, the longs are continuing to come in, pushing price up. And then those shorts add that fuel, right? Because again, if I zoom out a little bit here, you could see where those shorts at, bada boom, right? So yeah, once you start cracking these highs, this is likely where you have a lot of those stop losses sitting, right? So once you crack up above these highs, right? Boom, those shorts start to squeeze, right? Because when you get stopped out of a short or liquidated out of a short, it creates a market buy. So the buys were coming in, right? The longs were coming in, pushing price up and continuing to squeeze out the shorts. And then once you start breaking this big high here, boom, you get that slap to the upside, squeezing all those shorts out. Now as I'm looking at this, I'm starting to think Golden may have been bear hunting this weekend. Golden, were you bear hunting is the question. I have a feeling you may have been. Shout out to Golden. Unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable. Let's see. One of those shorts was me, lol. It's okay. I had a very tight stop loss, but also the quickest $30 I've ever spent. Shout out to K Diggity. I know the feeling, bro. I know the feeling. Let's see. The dummies will short the bottom and short in the middle of puns. WTF. Yeah, shout out to Kalichi. I mean, you have to think, right? Like most people get wrecked trading. So it makes a lot of sense. And when you start looking at the order flow, you can actually see like where those shorts come in, which is oftentimes where I'm looking for longs, right? Like when I see a lot of shorts funnel, it's not the only thing I look at, but if I see a lot of shorts funnel into the market, like even if it is just for a smaller squeeze, there was recently a point in time where we saw a bunch of shorts entering in, right? And again, it's not the only thing I look for, but oftentimes when you see a lot of shorts enter as price is dumping down, you will get them to at least squeeze to some form to the upside. So if you're scalping, sometimes looking for a lot of shorts entering the market and knowing what else to look for. It's not that easy just looking for shorts to enter and then you long. You have to know what else to look for. But if you can do that, right, you understand where those liquidations are sitting and those stop losses are sitting, you can catch some really nice scalps to the upside by understanding where shorts are entering late and then just looking to squeeze them back to the upside, even if it's for a small move, right? It's a small, high probability or clear reason to get that move to the upside. And if you don't get those liquidations, it's very quickly invalidated. But yeah. Anyway, let's continue on here. So we looked at Solana, we looked at Ethereum, we looked at Bitcoin. Let's take a look at XRP because XRP was not only on the list of the crypto reserve, but it was number one on the list for the crypto reserve, guys, which is pretty interesting. Very, very interesting. Shout out to the Trading Cove said, I see a head and shoulders. That's it, and that's all. Shout out to, we actually went over patterns today in the premium Discord because we actually did on Bitcoin see an inverse head and shoulders here, which I think I actually brought up on the, maybe I didn't bring this up on the live stream, but we were talking about this potential inverted head and shoulders, and you guys know I do not trade patterns, right? I do pay attention to them somewhat. But I do not trade based off them. If it was as easy as just finding a pattern on a chart, longing, shorting, and making a ton of money, no one would do any other kind of analysis, right? That's like usually like when you first get into crypto trading or any kind of trading in general, patterns is the first thing people try to teach you. And again, it's not that it's not that they're useless. It's not that they don't ever work. It's not that you shouldn't look at them. Like I said, I do look at them, but it has to be. It's not the main thing I'm trading off of. It can't be the main thing you're trading off of, in my opinion, because the only reason I looked at this as a head and shoulders, which, by the way, just for anyone who's interested, the way you would look at this is, hey, you have your head and shoulders, right? This was the retest of the neckline, and then that's where you look for the breakout. I have videos on how to trade patterns, even though it's not really how I trade. You would wait for the retest of the neckline before the push to the upside. But this is, everyone always talks about the time that patterns play out, right? No one talks about the millions and millions of patterns that don't play out. But again, the reason I was looking at this as a head and shoulders, at the end of all of my actual analysis on the order flow and all that good stuff, market cipher B, money flow, etc., then I see, well, hey, and we have a head and shoulders. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll grab that measured move, right, from the top of the neckline to try to see where that could bring us up to. And you can see this literally brought us up almost exactly there. But I can't trade based off of that alone. The only reason I looked at this head and shoulders is because we had bullish divergences, right? Especially on Bitcoin here. We had 3 drives of bullish divergence on the 4-hour. We swept the liquidity. We had a daily candle closure above the anchored VWAP. There was many reasons to look for the push to the upside. And then that head and shoulders was just like a little addition. But you don't pump because of a head and shoulders, right? It's a way to describe price action rather than like a sign that something is going to happen, if that makes sense, right? But when things all line up, that's when I look at this as like, hey, this is also an inverted head and shoulders, which could call for a breakout. And that measured move, low-key, hit almost to the dollar. So that's kind of cool. But let's see. Donald and friends wrecking people. Shout out to Verderi. Let's see. BTC in the middle finger pattern is currently printing the thumb. Yeah. Yo, shout out to who said that? Shout out to 38 Racing. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, like for example, shout out to Golden. For example, like if you had a ton of money, right? And again, I am not trading with like $50 to $100 million. I want to be clear about that. But just saying, if you had a ton of money and you were able to, make a bunch of money on a short position on the way down, and then, you see a lot of people shorting at the bottom, and you were to take your profits from a massive drop to the downside on that short, and then either long or just buy, and you were able to push price up, and yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to figure out like how much money would move price X amount. But if you could figure out how much money you would need to buy or leverage, even if you were to long it to push price up past that liquidation level, that's like kind of market maker stuff. That's like you could like just buy and push price through a liquidity level and then just send those liquidations back up, which would be really cool. I'm not saying I can do that. I'm not saying anyone else in the chat could do that either. But is an interesting hypothesis. Anyway, let's continue on. No, we did not. Did we? We hit 1,000 likes, guys. Let's go. We went from all we need is a little volatility to get the 1,000 likes. Shout out to Kembro. Did that look organic? I'm not gonna lie, because we were struggling to hit 1,000 likes a while ago, and now we're hitting it a lot. As long as it's organic, let's go. $350 in Solana on Friday's giveaway is what we're doing. Yeah, we did. Let's go. Took $1 million to kickstart the cycle. Shout out to Colton. All right. I guess you're talking about like hypothetically if you were thinking, yeah, I got you, Golden. I got you. But yeah, there we go. 1K likes, guys. Thank you so much. All of us together could pump it a bit, I'm sure. Shout out to Zen. Yeah, all on 100x leverage. Full poured it. 1.4K watching. Yeah, thank you for smashing the like button, guys. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please, for the love of God, subscribe to the channel if you want to see these moves in the charts before they happen and make money trading Bitcoin, whether price goes up or down. Let's see, bro, you are a legend. I learned a lot with you being so optimistic. Shout out to Cheka. Yeah, absolutely, bro. I appreciate you so much, man. I really do. And I love hearing that. I love hearing that because it's why we do this, right? That's why we do this. I don't just like make clickbait. Like, our goal is not to get a bunch of clicks and views so we can make money, right? Like, to be quite honest with you guys, we don't make a lot of money on YouTube, right? Like, I could probably look, but you need millions and millions of views, right? Or hundreds of thousands of views to make a significant amount of money on YouTube. So like, we don't care about getting the most clicks or the most views. What I care about is being accurate with my analysis and being correct about the market and teaching you guys how to actually make money trading Bitcoin, whether price goes up or down. That's what we've been doing since the start, and we ain't stopping anytime soon. Let's see. I just took a 1K loss because I bought yesterday on that FOMO. Shout out to J Squad flexing that check mark, baby. baby. Yo, J Squad, let's go, bro. Welcome in. And sorry about your loss. But hey, listen, man. If you just take that as a lesson, right? Like, it seems like you know what happened, right? You took a loss buying on that FOMO. What do we have to avoid? We have to avoid FOMO. That is 100% going to be the case. If you feel FOMO, it should be your biggest sign not to buy or sell, right? If you're feeling FOMO to buy or FOMO to short, right? That is your biggest sign to sit on your hands. If you're like, oh my God, I don't want to miss the move. Take that as sit on your hands, right? Because, even if it does, there's going to be times where you want to FOMO, and then it keeps going, and you're like, man, if I just FOMO it, I would have made money. But that's okay. I always say missed gains are none of your business. Every single time. Missed gains are none of your business. Because you could always catch another move, right? I talk about anytime I miss moves, right? Like, I don't remember exactly what happened here, but like I think I missed the long, maybe. No, I hit the long, or I don't know. But like many a times, guys, like if we missed the long, you could catch the short. Oh, no, you missed this long, you could catch this short. Oh, no, you missed this short and this long. Well, you could catch this short. Are you going to FOMO long short at the bottom? No. You're going to be looking for longs, right? So you missed the shorts, you could catch the longs. There's always going to be another move in the market. If you missed that big long, you could have caught the short today. So when it comes to day trading and scalping, like you really want to focus on not paying too much attention about catching every single move. It's really not what you want to do. I can promise you. It's how you're going to chew up your account. So shout out to you, man. Yeah, you absolutely sound like you knew what you did wrong, and then you just like move on and learn from that mistake. And you might not learn from the mistake the first, second, or third time. I had to learn the mistakes. I had to touch the stove probably 673 times. It wasn't until I wrecked my 50th account that I was like, you know what? I'm actually not even mad about losing. I'm just kind of bored of losing. So let me just try something different. I was doing the same thing, trying to get rich overnight, right? Trading and just wrecking myself constantly, that I just simply got bored. And that's really when things changed for me. Yeah, shout out to K Diggity. Said missed gains are none of your business is my favorite Frankie quote. It's so true. Shout out to K Diggity. Absolutely, bro. Best case, 84.5 and up. I would say, yeah. I mean, best case, we go up from here. But again, I don't really have high hopes for that based off the 30-minute. Again, I would have to favor a little bit more towards the downside. It's really hard to pick a decisive direction at this point. If I had to lean anyway, I'd have to go with the higher time frame money flow, which is wreck the longs, wreck the shorts, and then it's going to pick a direction. But I will say, like, 30-minute money flow crossover into the red, right? 8-hour red dot printing. Right. Also, another 30-minute red dot looking to print with the money flow coming out. 8-hour red dot with the 30-minute money flow crossover is one of the Oh, and this is confirmed too. Yikes. So, yeah, it's really hard to pick a certain direction today, to be quite honest. But I would have to lean towards downside, right? And why is that, right? Not just because I'm feeling bearish or this dump down scared me, right? This coming down has nothing to do with why I think we can continue down, right? I guess it does kind of. But it's not like I'm seeing red and I'm feeling bearish because we're dumping, right? It's because of the key level that we rejected. This level here, this Fibonacci Golden Pocket 786, was the level we looked at on yesterday's update as the first high probability area to put in a lower high and continue our trend to the downside, which would call for a break of structure to the downside. So, right now, again, I would have put a high probability on this long continuing to play out. But the next key level that we technically have is going to be this Golden Pocket daily level, which very simply is sitting, at about 84, between about 84,573 all the way down to about 84K, right? Like maybe we come down here and we can catch a bounce off that. 786 down here, again, at that point, it's just money flow not looking great. Again, and this does, a lot of these time frames, like these do look like they may want to put in lower lows on some of these higher time frames too. Like some bullish divergences on the higher time frames, like the 16-hour, right? In my opinion, right? This looks like you could potentially put in a little bullish divergence here, right? So we'll have to assess the situation as we come down. But the next local level of support definitely going to be 84.6 down to about 84,000. And I guess, you could consider that best case if we don't come up from here. That would be like best case. But yeah, it's this market. I will tell you this, guys. If this makes anyone feel better about like being worried about the bear market or anything like that, this is one of the hardest cycles I've ever been through. This is my third cycle. I thought it was my fourth. I was like, wait, what the heck? But yeah, this is my third cycle, and this is probably one. I don't know. I want to say it's one of the hardest ones, but they're kind of all hard, right? Like everybody likes to think that like I think a lot of people have looked at the past through like rose-colored glasses, right? And again, I have a YouTube channel, right? Like everything I talked about up here is on the YouTube channel. There's receipts for it, right? So I can't just pretend that I was right about stuff if I wasn't. But I think a lot of people are just like, yeah, man, like this was clearly the top. And I'll be honest, I felt crazy when we were coming up here and I didn't like the look of the charts. I remember talking to tons of people being like, yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I'm just seeing a bunch of bearish stuff. This could be the top, right? And I never put 100% certainty. I wasn't saying you're an idiot if you think it's going to 100K. It's definitely going down, right? Because that's not how the market moves. The market goes up, down, and sideways, right? No one knows exactly what's going to happen. So, but looking at the information, I was like, I don't love the charts, right? Everyone's always come to me before I had a YouTube channel. All of my crypto friends, anybody always used to come to me like, what are the charts saying? This is supposed to be really bullish, but the charts look good. And I felt crazy here because I was like, everyone was looking for 100K, and I'm like, I almost didn't want to say anything. This was before I had my channel. I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't know, maybe we'll go to 100K. But like literally sitting here like, I don't know, kind of looks like garbage up here. But again, it's not like 100% call. So it's, I think, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Again, I still, my sentiment remains the same. Could we see more pain? Yes, based off of what we just looked at. And we looked for the drop to 80K. No one wanted to hear it, but here there we are, right? Down at 80K. So, for me personally, I do think there is a possibility of more downside, right? Daily naked point of control, weekly naked point of control, 786. Like your next big level is sitting down here. Don't get it twisted. Right, and if we're going to break that low, if we did put that lower high in on the level from yesterday's update to put in the lower low, this would be the target I'd be looking at between about 76.6 and about 74.8, right? And then this is really the level that we don't want to. I really don't want to come down here, guys. Like, I'm not kidding when I say that. I don't want to have to deal with this. This is going to be like, people are going to want to know up or down from here. And this is a sticky situation, guys, down here. This is sketchy. Break down a little bit more. Could get accepted into the range and send that thing back down to the value area low, which is going to bring you closer into the 50s and 60s. And I don't want to have to call for that on my YouTube channel, guys. If we have a reason to look down towards those levels, I will say it on my channel, and nobody's going to like it. But one thing you can say, you don't got to like it. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just the messenger. I'm just bringing you what's on the charts, and you will just know that the charts are much more likely going to be right than wrong. But anyway, let's continue on. Yeah. Shout out to Ditto says, if we have luck tomorrow, Trump talks about crypto at Congress. Yeah. And all it takes is one thing. And hopefully this little pump made you guys realize that, right? Like, hopefully most people notice this. Everyone's saying bear market. The bulls are idiots down here. And then we get the pump. And then there's the green thumbnails and everybody on TikTok saying, oh my God, we're so back, right? And then here we are just back down to the lows, right? And this is why you don't want to get caught up in sentiment. It's pretty crazy. Shout out to Wick589 said, Frankie's pretty good at telling us when to bail. Yeah, shout out to Wick589. And I will just say, right, we're going to take a look at XRP right now, but I will just say, right, guys, like, you always have to make your own financial decisions. There is, even me, as much as I'd like to come up here and be like, I am the all-seeing crypto god, right? It's just not the case, right? There's nobody out there like that. And at the end of the day, right, like, I'm also in a different situation, right? Like, my Bitcoin was bought at around 21 to 22K. So, the pullbacks that we're seeing right now, right, like, I'm still up a ton of money, right? Like, my Bitcoin bags are still, like, very much afloat up here, right? Like, bought down here. So, but not everybody's in that situation, right? I told a lot of my family, like, I know some people that were buying up here. And I tried to tell them, like, you don't want to buy up here. Like, I would skip this, right? Like, maybe even just wait till next cycle, right? Like everyone wants to rush and get rich quick overnight, and that makes them FOMO in at the top. And if you FOMO in up here, this is a different situation. This is a horrible, right? If you were buying up here, say at the top, and then you get a 28% dump, like, that's pretty brutal. Not to be unexpected in crypto, but it is pretty brutal, right? And that's just not the situation I'm in. So, I have plenty of time to kind of bail out here if things got really bad. But, I did take partial profits here at target number 1 for Bitcoin. This was my first target for Bitcoin. So I have taken some money off the table, but very little, not really big, like maybe 5%, right? Like, not a lot of profit up here. But we'll see. Let's see. Shout out to Help, said, Frankie, why am I so soft? Shout out to Help. It's okay, brother. It's okay. It's an emotional thing, right? I always say, if you're feeling a ton of emotion, you may be investing money you're not willing to lose. Sometimes that'll do it. DCA is the best. Yeah, shout out to Ditto. I would agree with you, right? My long-term bags, right? You might think to yourself, well, Frankie Candles probably just waits till the bottom's in and then buys right at the bottom. Doesn't even work for someone like me, guys. Like, you could try, right? And, like, maybe I could get a nice little sniper entry. But, you know, at the end of the day, DCA is the way for your long-term bags. I started buying as soon as we had our first big drop when weekly money flow crossed over into the red. And this is what we looked at on the channel, right? So, like, when we come into the next bear market, let's say the top is in, guys. There is no better time to learn how to trade than now. Because not only can you make money on the way down, just like you made money on the way up, but you know, when you're learning how to trade and you're focusing on a bear market, this is so much more important than focusing on a bull market, in my opinion, right? Because this is where you're going to get the best entries. This is where you're going to hear about projects when they first launch before they go up 100x. So, like, a lot of people come in at the tail end, right? And then they all get wrecked. What you want to do is, hopefully, even if you did get in towards the top, let's say this is the top of the bull market, let's just assume, right? You know, if you got in here, it's time to pay attention if you go into a bear market. That is the time to double down on your research, double down on your focus on crypto, because that's where the life-changing gains are made, right? So once that weekly money flow crossed over into the red, we got our first flush to the downside. This is where I started DCAing into the market. And yes, as this was coming up, I was buying still, right? Comes down, I buy, right? And then I stopped buying, like, pretty much up here, right? For an average entry price of around $20,000 to $22,000. And then you enjoy the nice rise to the upside, right? The nice rip to the upside. You don't have to, you know, if you're buying in up here, hoping that, you know, Bitcoin's going to go to 500K in a couple days, right? It's always the people who are new to crypto that are the most impatient, right? They're like, what the heck? I bought this thing. I'm not rich. I saw some guy on TikTok that got rich buying a meme coin in 5 minutes. And it's like, you got to have realistic expectations, right? So, you know, we have had a big rip to the upside. That's why, you know, this dump is very scary for a lot of the new people, but not really scary for the people who have been here, right? Because we've seen a massive rip to the upside, right? So, like, getting a pullback like this isn't uncommon, right? Even here, massive rip to the upside, big correction. Massive rip to the upside, big correction. So, like, this is really nothing that scary, right, when it comes to the overall price action. So, yeah. But anyway, let's continue on. Let's take a look at XRP, guys. So, XRP, I mean, we're just ping-ponging around in the range at this point, right? Like, this is the range that we've been looking at. Value area high sitting at 260, POC sitting at 240, and then your value area low sitting down here at about 213. You deviate below the low. Beautiful, beautiful 3-hour bullish divergences. Actually like to see those on the 4-hour even better, right? 4-hour bullish divergences form as you deviate into your 786. Absolutely beautiful tap of that 786. Bada boom. You reclaim the value area low. At this point, you're looking for a move into the POC and the value area high. Then you deviate back to the upside. I could get this off the chart, right? Because we got the little retracement. Lower high on the fib level, back into the range. POC, value area low. Deviation below the low, bullish divergences, reclaim. Next likely place for price to go is the POC. Flip that POC, go to the value area high. Right, and then this is our overall Fibonacci retracement from this high to the low, right? And we actually took this golden pocket off the chart because it was already tested, right? So we go from the high to the low. We tested it, rejected, tried to get above it, rejected. But what happened? We came up here to the 786, put in another rejection, back into the range, and right now we're playing with that POC. So right now, I would pretty much be paying attention to this range, right? Get stuck under this POC. That's where you look for another move down to the low. If you get above it, right, we could look up to the value area high, which again is sitting at 260. But as of right now, I'll be honest with you guys, like 4-hour bull div looking kind of nice at the value area low with money flow and VWAP coming up. So maybe, just maybe, we could hold this money flow up, cross it over into the green, and yeet this thing on out of here. But again, you know, in the middle of a range, this is not where I like to take trades. You know, if, almost all the altcoins, even Bitcoin, you know, sitting very close to their golden pocket retracements. So, you know, you could put a higher low in here, right, at the POC, golden pocket. But not something I would be willing to trade. The trades for me happen below the value area and above the value area. Shorting up here, longing down here. Every single time. Right? I don't take every single trade, but every single time, if I'm taking a short or a long, oftentimes this is the case, right? Because these are the high probability reactions, right? You could have tried to take a long here to get back out, but what happened? You just continued to the POC. You could try to long the POC to get out, but what happened? You just got below the POC. You could try to long below the POC, but what? You get it, right? Even here, you get a nice move up from the value area low, but at the end of the day, you know, you didn't really have any significant bullish divergences here. Maybe you had local bullish divergences, right? Maybe on something like a, 10-minute, something like that, right? Yeah, bullish divergences, move back in, push to the upside. But again, right, you would look at that in terms of a lower time frame position, right? When you have a 4-hour bull div, these are typically much stronger than something like a 10-minute bull div, which gives you the full rotation of the range. So if you continue down key level, right, we can get rid of these fibs now because this has been fully filled. We could pull our new fib. Whoops. Pull this fib from the low to the high. Bada boom, bada bing. And yeah, so yeah, 786, like your key levels are very similar, right? If your value area low, 786, that'd be your next key zone of support. If you can't get back above the POC and you lose the golden pocket, I would definitely expect this zone to come in. And if you get above the POC, you're just looking at the value area high. So shorts at the highs, longs at the lows. Very simply put. I don't hate this 4-hour money flow if this green dot can print pretty soon. Take a look at the 12-hour red dot. So yeah, I would prefer something more like this, right? Just like back here, instead of long in the POC or long in over here, I would prefer something like that. If you've been watching this live stream, right, like even here, we look at like, hey, we're putting in a higher low on the golden pocket. Like, should this be a place where we're longing? You could scalp it, right? But, the higher probability and bigger trades are always going to be happening at the extremities of the volume profile. Big move down, big move up. You have to wait for it to come out of the value area. So that's what I'd be looking at on XRP. 12-hour red dot printing, so you're going to look down to your 45-minute money flow crossing over into the red. That would indicate a continuation of the downtrend personally for me. And then, you're below that POC, so that would definitely be the next stop. So we'll see what happens. Kind of just bing-bonging around there. Daily bull div also printed and confirmed here as well, which is nice for the longer term. But again, guys, like when it comes to the altcoins, like we need the QE. Like, not that you can't trade these ranges, but, if you want your big moves on your altcoins, we need QE. If we don't have QE, we're on a risk-off environment. If we're on a risk-off environment, Bitcoin is not going anywhere. Altcoins are not going anywhere. So, yeah, keep that in mind. But there we go. That's XRP. Let's take a look at Cardano. Obviously had some pretty massive moves off of the Trump news. Let's take a look at it. Bada boom, bada bing. Oh my God, it's going to $1 million. And guys, like I said in the market update yesterday, you do not want to FOMO in on big green candles, especially when it's based off of news. I actually didn't say because based off news specifically, but in general, guys, when you get the big news like that, like you don't want to funnel in at the top. You got to wait for some kind of retracement. It doesn't mean that you can't continue up. I don't want people thinking like, oh, I like, why would you not buy something that's going up? Well, that's literally the worst time to buy it, right? You want to buy things when they're scary. Right? No one wants to buy Cardano when it's down here at an actual key level of support, right? This is the level we've had on the chart for quite some time. But no one wants to buy down here when it's scary and hitting the golden pocket. Right? But once it pumps, people are looking at that level wishing they were in. But instead, they buy here and get wrecked. Right? And this just goes to show, and this is exactly why we were not overly bearish at the golden pocket here. We were looking for this level forever. We said we were not going to get overly bearish, and then that's where the bounce comes in. Right? Everyone else doesn't want to buy here. Everyone else funnels short here. Right? And then they buy up here and get absolutely slapped. Right? Don't be those people. You want to be the smart traders, right? You don't have to be smart money, but you could trade. You don't have to be smart money to trade with smart money. So let's take a look here. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's take a look. So let me grab this. This is now, and I mean, this was the low before getting the massive move up. You pull from the low to the high. Price wiggles around, goes for the golden pocket 786 retracement, puts in some nice divs here. Lower lows, higher lows, money flow comes up. Boom, right to the upside. Some people will say news. I say look at the charts, right? But we can get this off the chart now. You also tested that POC of the previous range, which sometimes is what we see happen. And right now you're back in no man's land, right? We can get rid of this. Rips, boom, boom, boom. And we could pull from the high to the low. Boom. And then there you go, right? Here is your full Fibonacci retracement. 786 golden pocket. This is like the big area you would look for that lower high to come in at if you were going to continue your massive downtrend. But at this point, right, I would just look at this like this, right? Local value area below. You can get rid of this and this. Value area high at 81 cents. POC, right? If you get accepted back into this range, I would probably be looking for a full fill of this range, right? Potentially could look for longs on the deviation below this range. However, until you wind up getting back above, key level to get above here is 95 cents. If you get back above 95 cents, that would call for more upside. If you come down, losing 81.5 cents would be giving you a big favor for lower prices, right? Bringing you down to about 70 cents. So that's what I would look at on Cardano. Other than that, I mean, your 2-day money flow looking very similar to everything else. It's coming up locally here, but your VWAP's rolling over, generally trending to the downside. Definitely a little bit. Not enough to say we're out of the woods just yet. Just like on yesterday's market update, guys, this is not enough. Just this pump to the upside is not enough to get us out of the woods. 3-day green dot is looking to print. Potentially somewhat soon here. It's not a very rounded VWAP, if I'm being honest. But we really need some, we at the end of the day, guys, we got to break the POC of the macro range in order to really feel like we're out of the woods. Like if you want new all-time highs for Bitcoin, guys, like we got to get above, I would say 96.7 at the POC, daily naked point of control. Get above that. That's where you have an, again, just still more resistance, right? There's a ton of resistance above, but once we can crack above, I would say, $99 to $100,000 and sweep this liquidity, that's our best bet. But even there, this is our biggest level here. 786 at 102, $103,000, right? Because like this is another area where you could put in a massive lower high to continue your downtrend. We rejected recently the local fib. Let me hide some of these daily nakeds, some of these horizontal levels. Right? We rejected the local fib, right? This golden pocket and this 786. The macro fib is all the way up here. Whoops. Golden pocket 786. So, again, in order to see massive upside for Bitcoin, number one, we got to reclaim the value area low, which is obvious, right? Get above the POC, get above the golden pocket, and then you could come take that $100,000 liquidity into the value area high. And even then, this is definitely a suspicious level. It's not until we get out of here, right? Pretty much until we break out, right? It's really hard because we have a ton of resistance above us. But I would say 100K between the POC and 100K is like the zone that you really want to get above, because if you have that liquidity above, it's going to help you squeeze to the upside. And again, if you just get above that POC, that's where you're anticipating a potential continuation to the value area high anyway, right? So it kind of all lines up there. So that's what I'm looking at. Let's see. Shout out to Kembro, said, it's all time. You always go back to BTC. I'll be honest, guys. Like, I'm not really focused too much on alts, if I'm being totally honest. Until we really see, alts are all going to follow Bitcoin. If Bitcoin continues to dump, all the alts are likely to dump. Unless we see Bitcoin dominance just totally break down, which obviously has not happened. We're just clinging on to this value area low. We need to reject out of this range, right? In my opinion, right? It's not until we wind up getting a pullback on, I know a lot of influencers out there are keep trying to call for alt season. Like they just call for it. It doesn't happen. Call for it. Doesn't happen. Call for it. Doesn't happen. Call for it. Doesn't happen. We got to wait for a reason to call for altcoin season, right? And again, really the big things that we're looking at is this value area low, which by the way, super, super not a great situation here. We got the push to the upside, and we need to get above the value area low at 931.2, right? 931.2 billion. We got a retracement and a rejection, right? Until we get above this level, in my opinion, this is what we need to at least start looking at alt season. We need to see the Bitcoin dominance break down. Other than that, a lot of the altcoins all kind of look the same, right? Like Chainlink, right? We come on over to the 2-day, money flow crossing over into the red, right? So, at this point, these are super, super bearish 2-day candles. These are not good, right? This is not what you want to see. But it's not a shock, right? Because it's like Bitcoin, it's just following Bitcoin, right? So daily red dot printing, lose the POC. I'd be looking to come down to the value area low, which we actually didn't hit on Chainlink yet. So, for an honorable mention here, 1310 down to about 1276. You have a, you have your 786. And your value area low confluence. And you have a daily level in there as well. I know it's not marked, but got a daily level there as well. So this actually doesn't look that bad. So yeah, I would say breakdown here, hop in there. This would be a much better place to look for long, in my opinion. Anyway, again, not that you can't scalp from the POC, but what happens, right? We actually looked at this. It wasn't most recent. We actually, before we made that extra low, but where is that go? At this point, right, if you're going to long at a POC, you have to anticipate that the value area high is going to lock you into the range and send you back down to the low anyway. So you can look for a scalp, but the value area high and this local Fibonacci between the golden pocket 786 is going to be the highest probability area, to put in your lower high before continuing down, right? So that's exactly what you saw, right? Back to the value area high, back to the POC, lose the POC. I would rather take a bigger trade down here at the daily / value area low. But other than that, looking exactly the same as everything else. 2-day money flow coming to the downside. Sure, it's coming up locally, but still overall trending to the downside. 3-day green dot looking to print. So, but again, even then, right, if we get this 3-day green dot to print and we get a retracement to the upside, this is where everyone's going to be calling for alt season. At the end of the day, it's probably just a lackluster retracement for another drop down, right? Unless this flips around, right? This money flow comes up in a big way and we see better signals as we come up, then maybe it is alt season. But, almost every influencer out there, every time a altcoin pumps or Bitcoin pumps, they're going to be calling for alt season. They're just guessing, right? For the most part. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that know what they're talking about. But, when there's no reason to call for altcoin season when total 3 looks like this, right? Like, just none, right? Unless we're putting in the low here, right? Again, this 786 is absolutely key to hold. And again, yesterday, I'll be honest, it didn't even really look that bad, right? Like being able to hold this as the low, like if the low is in here on total 3, this would be the level that you would want to hold above, right? And then get it back up, send it back into the value area, wonky line, and then send it back up to the value area high. But yeah, shout out to Do. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you. He says, can you take a look at Arbitrum? Yes, we can. Super chats do not guarantee that we look at your altcoin. Shout out to Do, though. We're going to do it in this case just because we need an altcoin to look at. But please do not send super chats. You can. It just doesn't guarantee that we look at your coin. We are actually running out of time here. I did not realize how much time went by. Oh, my God. Bitcoin dumps and time goes fast. We're already over time here. But let's take a look here. Daily. Yeah, you had your daily bullish divergence print. Fresh red dot printing. Let me see. I'm pretty sure we have some kind of a Arbitrum chart. That's not what I wanted to see. Where's our ARB chart? Coinbase? No. That's the Bitcoin chart. Bitstamp. All right, I guess we'll look at the Coinbase chart. And let's take a look here. Yeah, what the heck? I thought we had an Arbitrum chart. I guess not. All right, well, let's take a look here. So, weekly VWAP getting rejected at the 0 line currently. 5-day green dot printing, 4-day green dot printing, 3-day green dot printing, bullish divergence looking to print on the 2-day. I wouldn't be I would not be entertaining altcoins until we figure out what's going on with Bitcoin. But I could give you some key levels here on Arbitrum. Shout out to Do. So I would mark out this range for show. Bada boom. By the way, guys, got a haircut this weekend. Actually got a lot of them cut. Not all of them, but some of them. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. So, yeah, you have your range, you break out, you get accepted back in, you bearishly retest, and now you're losing the range. So, it's hard to find anything underneath here because on this particular chart, we don't have any price action to the left. But what I could look at, right, and even this local fib is obviously not going to be held, right? You've already lost that 786. So, yeah, the one thing I would look for here is potential bullish divergences on the 2-day. Right? Even the 3-day is printing one. So if you can get that 2-day bull div, you might be able to get a little push to the upside. But again, maybe it is a big push up to the value area low POC. But again, if Bitcoin's not launching, this is likely not going to be that great. But that's what I would look for. Higher lows, lower lows for a potential ride back into the value area low POC. Flip that POC, go look to come back into the value area high at 62 cents. POC sitting at 53 cents. And then the value area low is sitting at 50 cents. But other than that, right, I can't find, is there another chart? Yeah, there's nothing to get any lower levels than this. So I would just look at this as price trading below value. Wait for some kind of bullish confirmation to give you a pushback to the upside into the POC value area high, and then just play that range for what it's worth. But other than that, that is really all I could give you. But I would be careful, right? Especially if you're trading, I would not be trading altcoins right now. Buying altcoins is one thing, but I would not be trading altcoins, especially because everything is going to be tied to Bitcoin. Everything, regardless of what anyone thinks, right? You're going to have outliers. But Frankie, what about Pi, right? You're always going to have that one random outlier. But for the most part, the alts are going to follow Bitcoin. So if you're looking for bullish setups on altcoins, it's almost pointless, in my opinion, right now, Unless, number one, you're coming down to a key level, such as key levels that we've given on XRP, right? Coming down to the value area low, no, Chainlink didn't hit the level. Solana, right? Something like Solana coming down to the value area low for the bigger rip to the upside, right? So unless you're coming down to a key level of support, or you're also seeing bullish signs on Bitcoin, in my opinion, it's extremely dangerous to be looking for longs on altcoins right now, unless you are literally looking for the long on the altcoin and then going to Bitcoin and making sure that Bitcoin is also looking like it wants to bounce. Otherwise, you're going to be in a really difficult situation trying to long altcoins here. So, but a lot of them look the same, right? We just have to wait for them to come down to the next key levels, to be quite honest. Shout out to Isaac Newton. We got Isaac Newton in the chat. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Says, does end to the war in Ukraine resume the bull run? Shout out to Isaac. I mean, it would be bullish. I don't know. I would not take that too much into consideration. The way I trade, I am almost a 100% technical trader. Would it help? I don't know. Maybe. I feel like a lot of that stuff is like, typically war is, in a weird way, it gives you if you look at the history of like what wars have done to the markets, right? Typically you get like a flash crash, right? Or an immediate bearish reaction, but then it winds up being bullish over time for at least the stock market. So I don't know. It's kind of hard. I don't know how that would react, how the market would react to that. Maybe it would be good. Not something I pay attention to be honest. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't, right? But that's just not something that I look at. Shout out to the Trading Cove, said 70K would heavenly try 40K. Shout out to Trading Cove. 40K would be brutal. War makes money. Yeah, shout out to Do. You got it. Yeah. Shout out to Do. Let's see. Daniel T says to pump all risk on assets. Yeah. But yeah, that's let's see. Shouldn't shout out to Capital says, shouldn't be trading this at all right now. Not BTC, not alts. Wait to establish the new range or try to estimate the bottom. 70K to 73K is the safest upcoming level to make buys. Yeah, shout out to Capital. I pretty much agree with that. It's not until we come down to this lower level that I'd be looking for bigger buys. Everything else are just little scalps, which obviously we can make money on those little scalps to the upside and the downside. But again, not on like altcoins, like especially if you're learning how to trade, I highly recommend sticking to Bitcoin, right? You don't have to just like constantly check everything. And I'll be honest, if you're saying you want to trade altcoins because they're much more volatile and you can make much more money, I will tell you this. You're already starting off with the wrong view on trading. If you only want to trade altcoins because they're going to make you more money, this is totally true, right? They're going to give you bigger percentage moves, but you're taking on a whole lot more risk by doing that, and it's going to be really hard to be a successful trader if you're. That just tells me that you're just chasing the most amount of money possible, which is one of the quickest things to wreck you in trading. And I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but I promise you, the harder that you chase money, the faster it will run from you. When it comes to trading, it is all about setting your trap in the market. This is what we do in the premium Discord. You set your trap in the market, and you wait for price to come into your trap. You look for your entry confirmations. Those confirmations are like the mouse taking the cheese bait, right? And then you fire on the trade. You do not want to just be like chasing the most money possible, because that's where you're going to wind up longing, right, or shorting and just hoping it's going to make you rich overnight. And if you're not trading with a ton of money, it's going to take a huge move to get you rich overnight, and it's very unlikely to happen. You could get rich trading, but it number one, doesn't happen fast, and number two, it's not going to happen early in your journey, very likely, and it's also it's a very slow process, right? And then once you build up your capital, sure, you're making a ton of money every day because you're trading with a lot of money, profitably taking money off the table and managing the risk. But you don't get into trading or learn the skill of TA to learn how to trade to get rich in a couple of days or a month or a year, right? It is a slow process, and it's a big learning process, right? It takes a long time to learn. I talked about this the other day. It takes a really long time to learn. And if you're not willing to accept that and take on the challenge of learning one of the highest income skills, if not the highest income skill on earth, then you're probably not going to make it, right? And I don't say that to be mean. I just say that to be truthful, right? If you're looking to get a quick buck, you're going to lose all your money trading. I can promise you that. But you can make a ton of money if you can become consistently profitable, but it takes a long time to get there. I heard someone talk about the other day, they had friends and family asking them how to trade. They've been trading for a few years. Everybody wants to learn how to trade. And she said that, like, as soon as she started explaining stuff, she could see, like, people's eyes glazing over and, like, they get distracted and they're, like, not that interested. And that's because they thought it was going to be a get-rich-quick scheme. They're like, oh, wait, I have to, like, pay attention and learn all this stuff? Never mind. I thought you were just sitting on a computer getting rich easily. That doesn't exist, guys. No one gets rich easily. Maybe you get lucky on a meme coin. Super low chance, but definitely happens sometimes. But, this is the type of trading that we do requires an actual skill that you need to learn over time. And if you're going to make more than a brain surgeon, this is another thing the girl was saying. She was like, I don't know what makes people think they're going to be able to make as much as a brain surgeon without having to like spend money on education or spend money or just spend time learning. Like, you're not just going to be able to make all this money if it was easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. But hopefully, me showing you guys my journey will show you that it is 100% possible. But, it's not a lot of people on the internet that are going to sell it to you the way I sell it to you, because they just want you to join their Discord because that's how they make their money, right? They just want you to join their course or whatever it is, or watch their YouTube videos because that's how they make money, right? I actually want to turn people into profitable traders. I'm not here for a quick money grab. I'm here to actually help people learn over time the highest income skill. And shout out to Coin Hoover, who was pinned to the top of the chat earlier today. We're very successful in doing it. We get messages all the time. But the people who make it, the people who make money trading, the people who are able to pay for their memberships by making money trading, the people who are able to make money and go back to school. I forgot who it was. Shout out to Change. Was it Change? I forget your name. But these are the people who stick with it and actually learn. You can't just watch one video and get rich overnight. So that's why I say, like, just stick to Bitcoin, right? If you don't want to trade Bitcoin because you're not going to make as much money, it's a bad mindset to enter trading with anyway. So yeah, and you're only going to get the truth here, guys. And luckily, the truth will make you money. But it's just not easy. Losing money gives me more of an adrenaline high. Shout out to Isaac. Just don't get addicted to it. But let's see. Wow, I feel blessed today. Shout out to Jesse. Let's go. Thank you for getting us 1,000 likes, Jesse. I think everybody smashed it because they didn't want to mess with the like police. Shout out to Wick589 said, part of it is just being in the market too, staying engaged so you know what the market's doing. That's why these are nightly streams. Hit that sub button. Shout out to Wick589. Yeah, smash that subscribe button, guys, and hit the like button as well. It helps us out endlessly here. If you appreciate the free education and the free value that we give here every single day and the honesty, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out amazingly. Yeah, shout out to Pays Bay. Says, boring market, nothing is working. Yeah, I mean, it has been pretty rough trading recently, if I'm being quite honest. But yeah, still have a lot to learn, but I've learned so much since Frankie started this channel. Shout out to Joe Mama. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be all at once. It could be a slow learning process. It took me, I probably lost money for a good, probably 2 or 3 years pretty consistently, just absolutely getting cooked. And then you go through like the break-even stage. You go through getting wrecked. Then this is the journey I went through. First part of the journey was I started trading and I got lucky and thought I was a genius. Quickly got humbled, lost all my money, right? Then I just started getting wrecked, loading up the account, getting wrecked. And then all of a sudden I decided to use stop losses and I was just losing trades, but they were small losses, right? Then I finally started, winning some trades, but I would, just let them, play out. And I would get greedy and hold them to get rich overnight once again. And the reason I'm so passionate about the trying to get rich overnight thing, guys, is because that's what I was chasing. And I fell for everything. Buy this indicator, it'll make you rich. Just buy and sell on these signals. Do this, right? Trade a pattern, you'll get rich overnight. I fell for everything, right? And none of it works alone. None of it works alone, right? But you have to come up with a process. You have to find what works for you and combine these things together. There's no indicator that's going to tell you when to buy and sell. I don't care who is saying they can do that, right? Because if they could do that, right, there's literally, if there was an indicator that could tell you when to buy and sell, everybody would be rich. No one would have a job because it would be super easy to just set up a bot to trade that indicator, right? I would not be doing this, right? Actually, I probably would because I like doing this. But I would not be doing TA. I would just set the trades and be like, hey, guys, let's just chill while this computer makes us a ton of money. Right? There's no indicator that could do it for you. There's no signals group that could do it for you. The only thing there is that will make you profitable and actually make you a successful trader is hard work, dedication, and more importantly, not giving up. I think most people fail trading because they give up too soon, right? And I don't blame them. It's hard. I've given up a couple times, but I can't stay off the chart. I'm like, that's it. I'm done. Trading's a scam. Walk down the stairs, eat dinner. What's Ethereum doing? I couldn't stay away. But anyway, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Step by Step is the Way of a Trader. Shout out to CXCV. Keep preaching, brother. You just won me over as a subscriber. You're describing my exact journey right now. Shout out to Amin Makes Sense. Shout out to you, bro. I hope it's making sense for you. But it's actually funny. I said this the other day. I get a lot of comments that say, oh, my God, you just described my life. And I said this on Friday's live stream. This is because I actually went through trying to become a profitable trader and failed miserably. The reason I'm able to call out what you guys are feeling, and Dave Digital said earlier today, I was explaining something, and he's like, I was showing him on the chart like how most people trade, and he just said actual footage of Dave Digital trading. But yeah, the reason I'm able to do that, guys, is because I genuinely did. I actually went through the same thing you guys are going through. And hopefully, again, I always say this. I'm not special, right? I was not a math whiz. I don't know, I wasn't an AP algebra, any of that stuff. I wasn't good in school. I focus on a million things at once. I am not some special person, right? I'm a normal person. I'm not like like gifted and talented or anything like that. It might be gifted in a different way. Yeah, like I am a normal person, and if I could do it, I really think my edge wasn't that I was like really good with numbers or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I thought growing up that I hated numbers. I thought I hated math because of what they were teaching me in school. But once they related it to money, I'm like, I like this. At least I know if I'm right or wrong. If it doesn't add up, I know I'm wrong. That's why I love math. But I thought I hated it. But it really, my edge was that I'm just thick-headed. I'm a thick-headed Sicilian, guys. Like, I don't give up. Like, if I want to figure something out, I'm either going to figure it out or I am literally going to lose my life doing so, or trying to do it. So I think that's what I had on my side. And I think that's why, like, I'm, it's a pretty small club being able to trade. But you got to have some kind of an edge, and I would say work ethic, perseverance, and just not giving up is definitely going to be the best way to get through it. Shout out to Ditto, said I subscribe just because the things you say make sense. Just now, I was expecting buy this now, etc., etc. Yeah, shout out to Ditto. I know that's where what a lot of people are looking for. Buy this here, buy this there. But I think the more that content becomes a thing and it's like a more normal part of our life, I think that's eventually like, I could get up here and be like, this is the bottom, this is the top, and then just come on live tomorrow and pretend I wasn't wrong. But that's just not how things work. It's not how you help people. It's not, I want people actually to make money. Like, when I don't even really promote the Discord that often because, people do it in the chat for me. Like Coin Hoover said just before. He's like, I paid for all my stuff and my subscription using the premium. We actually help people. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't care about how many clicks we get. Like I said, we don't even make any money on YouTube anyway. But it doesn't matter, right? We're not here for a fast money grab. We didn't come here in the bull market to try to extract so much money from our viewers as possible. Only thing I've ever done since I started this channel was, just give you honest information and data on the charts, and genuinely just try to teach people how to make money trading for free for the most part, right? I even discourage people from joining the Discord sometimes because if you're a complete beginner, you're probably going to be lost. Go watch all the free content here on the channel. There's plenty of free content here, but before you have to lay out money to get into the Discord and trade alongside me. But yeah. Let's see. Sounds like the plot of a good Netflix movie starring Frankie Candle. Shout out to Julio. Yeah, let's go. Let's write a movie, guys. Yeah, not giving up is the secret to success in anything. Just look at every famous entrepreneur. They all failed massively before success. Yeah, shout out to Grant. I mean, guys, I've started every online business you could think of. I've done drop shipping. I've done Amazon FBA, copyright. I've tried so many things. I had a video production business. I always was an entrepreneur. I always tried to do my own thing, and I was behind in life for so long. And all I could say is thank God I didn't listen to the people like, hey man, time to get a real job. Like you're falling behind. Everybody's married. Everyone's, thank God I did not listen to them, right? Because then I'd be stuck in a 9-to-5 that I hated and I wouldn't be able to, trade full time and have this YouTube channel with these amazing Mafia members. I just thank God I didn't listen to anybody. And I don't think, when you're doing something different, when you want to learn how to trade, when you want to open a business, and just so you guys know, I failed at everything. I failed at my video production business. I had some small, I used some small successes, but mostly overall wasn't making that much money, right? Drop shipping, complete failure. I never made a dime with drop shipping. Amazon FBA, I actually found some good success in that. I was making a decent amount of money doing that. And that's another thing, right? The other thing is I've been through a lot of the online entrepreneur stuff. So I have a big background in not only entrepreneurship, but also falling for a lot of traps, right? Amazon FBA, there's a lot of people out there saying, you could get rich quick. Just sign up for my course. Do this, do that. You can get rich quick, right? And I fell for all that stuff, and it never worked. But at the end of the day, it was a profitable business model, and it wasn't until, right, I would have followed somebody that said you can get rich quick, and I'm like, oh, I'm not getting rich quick. But I saw there were people that looked like they were making money doing this, and it made sense as a business model for me. And although that bad person that I was watching, the influencer I was watching that says you can get rich quick, right, they're lying, right? Like, they're just grifting their audience for profit, right? Like, they probably don't make money on Amazon. They probably just want people to sign up for their course, right? And that's fine, whatever. Do your thing. I don't really care. But I wound up making a lot of money with Amazon, and a lot of people would think it's a scam, and I thought it was a scam too, until I realized, oh, of course it's not as easy as just this guy telling me what to do, and then I just click a few buttons for 1 hour a day and make $1 million. Obviously, that's not going to be the case. Who have you ever met that makes $1 million that works 1 hour a day, right? Unless they're like an established business person and they're, have management in place. And when did I start making money on Amazon, guys? When I started breaking my back, packing boxes, ordering stuff all day long, labeling stuff, like back-breaking work. And then I started making money. And I'm like, okay, so you can make money. It's just not as easy as the gurus tell you it is. It's the same thing with trading, right? You could totally make a ton of money trading, but it's not as easy as a guru will tell you. If they think, oh, you're going to trade a bullpen and every time you see it, or Head and Shoulders every time you see it, and you'll make a ton of money, they're probably trying to just sell you a course, right? And that's their main goal. And I have nothing against courses. I took an Amazon course, and that's when I started making money because I bought it from a reputable person, and they showed you the right way to do it, right? So I'm not even against courses. You just got to be careful who you get them from. If this was just for money, you'd be an XRP-centric channel. Those boys are cray. Yeah, shout out to Wig589. Yeah, there's some channels out there that are like XRP specific, and I'm like, I have trouble making content sometimes, and I have every coin to pick from. I don't know how you make a whole channel off of one coin. Shout out to those people. That's brutal. Let's see. There's a shout out to Gold Valley. Said Frankie, there's a 10-year-old trend in confluence with the top trend from in the POC of the hell range. Pull from August 2015. Trendline confluence from August 2015. Let's see. And yeah, we're going over, guys. We're pretty much we went so over time. But that's okay. That's okay. And shout out to Wick589. Thank you so much for the super chat, bro. Yeah, 100%, dude. Yeah, XR. Shout out to the XR people. I don't know how they make that much content on that stuff. Like people who are. There's one channel. They're actually pretty big. I don't remember the name of it. Something like XR. Frankie is reality. Yeah. Shout out to Mitz. Like I said, I've been through it. I thought I was going to get rich drop shipping. And I know there's people who get rich drop shipping. But I just know it's not as easy, right? Like if there are people, again, when you get sold something, whether it's subscribe to my channel and this will happen, or buy this thing and this will happen, right? When you get sold anything, whether it's monetary or just like someone trying to get you to buy into an idea, think to yourself, is it too good to be true? Really? Can I just get in this Discord and have this guy tell me when to buy and sell and make $1 million? Couldn't I just lay on my couch and make $1 million? I've met a lot of millionaires, guys. I know millionaires. And going from zero and failure myself to success, I know for a fact I've never met, and I personally don't just lay on the couch all day and make $1 million, right? I've never met a millionaire that just lays on the couch and makes money easily, right? So you just got to think to yourself, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. But yeah, let's see. Pull from August 2015. Let's come on over to the Bybit chart. Bitstamp chart. August 2015. Good Lord. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Gold Valley. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about or what you're looking at. It's just really hard to kind of figure that out. I mean, maybe you're just talking about that long-term trend from 2015. But yeah, kind of hard. I don't know exactly. I would need more context of, like exactly how you have it pulled and to what lows you have it pulled. But yeah, this trend line always kind of just gets pretty close to, but yeah, August, it's got to be something like that. It's got to be close to what you're looking at. Yeah, maybe that's a low. We're going to $1 million. Shout out to Gold Valley. Yeah, to the bottom of the bear. Maybe something like that. Is that what you're looking at? That brings us down to about 61K, which would be hilariously confluent with the value area low of this range. 60K, 59K, right there. Maybe something like that. But yeah, other than that, guys, we'll see what happens here. We're just bing-bonging around trying to get that push to the upside. But like I said, if you missed the Bitcoin TA, go ahead and scrub back to the beginning. I kind of went on a couple rants today. But again, we just did Bitcoin. Altcoins are just kind of, they're just kind of in sketchy situations right now. Streaming into Asia Open. Let's go. Let's see. That would scare many people. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the trend line is there, supporting the drop now. Alt's about to drop again. Shout out to Bring the Chaos. Hey, Bring the Chaos. You tuned in right at the right time. Bring the Chaos. Send these things to zero. But yeah, I mean, I would, again, right, like just before I let you guys go, I'll just do one extra little check-in here. We'll hide the main range. Next level I'm looking at locally, right? Again, scrub back to the beginning of the stream if you didn't see the TA on Bitcoin. But right here. Come on. Right here, 84,700 to 83,970, Golden Pocket Daily Confluence. I would potentially be looking for a little bit of a bounce there. But if we don't hold that, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm going to let things settle down. But 16-hour red dot, 1-hour money flow crossover into the red. Bearish 1/16th market cipher B strategy. 8-hour red dot with the 30-minute money flow crossover. Bearish market cipher B 1/16th strategy. So be careful out there, guys. And the fact that we, again, put that lower high in on the level from yesterday's market update. Again, make sure you have notifications on so you don't miss those market updates. First level that we were looking at for a potential lower high and a continuation down. So not the best look for Bitcoin, if I'm being honest. Unless we get a bounce off one of these local levels. But now you guys know exactly what I'm looking at here. Let's see. Shout out to Julio says the Rothschilds own masterpiece paintings and one Rembrandt, for example, could get you a mansion in Beverly Hills. That's old money right there. Yeah, shout out to Julio. Yeah, when you're spending millions of dollars on a painting, you got to wonder. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. It's the art is basically like a money laundering scandal, I think. But anyway, let's see. Wait for the eclipse, both one on the 14th of March and the other on the 29th of March. You will see Bitcoin will cross 150K. Shout out to Learning Life Content. I sure hope so. Shout out to Captain. Said I got to go to bed up for 33 hours. Love you guys. Love you, Frankie. Shout out to Captain Kirk. I just saw you. Well, welcome in and welcome out. Have a great night, Cap. Have a great night's sleep, and we'll see you tomorrow. But yeah, guys, with all that being said, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Yep, you will thank me later. Come back around the 1st of April. You will see 150K. Okay, so there we go. Hang on. We should start writing this stuff down. Learning Life Content says 150K around April 1st. So are we talking like April 1st to April 5th? Is that the range? And that's based off the eclipse? Let's see. I will, if that happens, I will solely change my strategies to trading the eclipses. Let me know. Learning Life Content. Thanks for the stream, Frankie. No problemo. Let's see. Frankie, you are amazing, bro. Best TA channel on YouTube. Shout out to Andres. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for all the love, guys. I really, April 1st, 2028. Let's see. That's correct. Not only eclipse, but also accounting year. Okay. So we got, all right, Learning Life Content, 150K by April 1st. So, all right, 150K by my birthday. My birthday's not on, or is this a big April Fool's joke? Shout out to Life Content. My birthday's in April, so 150K by my birthday. Shout out to Learning Life Content. We're going to see if it plays out. We'll see if it plays out. You're saying 100% guaranteed or maybe? Let me know. But yeah, with all that being said, guys, let's see. April Fools. But yeah, guys, with all that being said, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Thank you for tuning in, guys. We really spent most of our time here on Bitcoin, but I think that's really, with this big volatility, that's really what people want to see. The altcoins are just going to follow Bitcoin anyway, so I did want to focus on Bitcoin a little bit more. Shout out to Joseline says, how old are you? Shout out to Joseline. I want you to guess. I want you to guess how old I am. Hang on. How old do you think I am? Let me know. Not a joke. It's like we got to save on taxation. Okay. Shout out to Learning Life. I hope so, bro. That would mean 150K Bitcoin around the time of my birthday, I'd be pumped for that. I would totally be pumped for that. We'll see. Learning life. If it happens, if we don't remember, you got to come in here and tell us it happened. And then, yeah, I don't know. We'd be, let's see, 30, 36, 29. Okay. 30. Okay. All right. Yeah, you've told us your age. I'll shout out to Zen. But yeah, no, I'm 32. 32. Yeah, 32. Anyway, but guys, with all that being said, let me pull up OBS. I don't even know what screen I'm on right now. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I got a nice haircut here over the weekend. Maybe I'll rock a fresh cut tomorrow. But yeah, guys, with all that being said, yes, I will make you. I will send you a comment or an email if I find a way to. Yeah, shout out to Learning. Come up into the live stream. We'll be here 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and especially if Bitcoin's at 150K, we'll be like partying out here. So come in and let us know. But with all that being said, guys, I will see you tomorrow. I don't want to leave. I don't know. I'm feeling kind of clingy today, guys. It was a long weekend of, I don't know. I went to see Matt Rife this weekend, which is super cool. We were like second row, and he didn't roast me. I'm pissed. I dressed up like a nerd. I had my inhaler. I had my glasses on. I had like knee-high socks on. I had a pocket protector. I thought he was going to roast me, but he just skated on by. Guess I'm not a hot girl. But anyway, guys, with all that being said, I'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. Pray for Bitcoin here, guys. Hopefully we can get that bounce off that golden pocket. But yeah, we're working late here. Keep going. Shout out to Tell. But yeah, you love Matt. Yeah, Stupid Bitcoin. He was great live. He seems like such a down-to-earth dude, too. Like, he stopped the whole show because some guy had a Cane Corso service dog in the front row, like right next to us. And he stopped the whole show just to show the dog love. And I was like, bro, this guy could be a homie. Shout out to him. He's super dope. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see if we get the bounce off the golden pocket. If not, yikes, look down towards that 786 with the liquidity sitting down below. Hopefully we don't wake up to another dump tomorrow. But either way, I'll be here to walk you guys through it. And I'll see you tomorrow, same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's all the time I got. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
What's next for me, Joe? I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them two bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in mine, yeah.
Yeah, guys, sometimes the sign just goes like super bright. I don't know why that happens. It is normally correlated, not with a pump or a dump, but it is normally correlated with a big move on Bitcoin. So I'm sorry. I don't know why that happened. I'm going to turn it back down. We might get a big move. I'm not sure. Hopefully not to the downside, but that usually does happen. So yikes. I don't know, guys. Pray for Bitcoin. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time. You know the rest. Have a great night. Go touch some grass. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, we winning by a landslide.
Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out,